After making quick work of the Shamrocks in the round robin, the Mavericks, a chance to close it out here on Monday for the Shams. Time for redemption. It's all coming up next here on CROW LAX TV. Mavericks, Shams, for all the marbles.
Out of the corner comes Galinsky. Out in front of the net, and he scores.
In front. Big shot, big goal.
For Vodchuk, scores. Josh Vodchuk.
Low with a rebound chance, he scores. Low, a little forward jump. Into the Jubilee Recreation Center for what is today's championship final of the Larry Bishop. My name's Aiden Bolsgaard. I'm joined here by Keenan. We're going to be your hosts in the pregame show and your intermissions today. Keenan, you can feel it. It's tension in the building today between the Shams and the Mavs. What feeling did you get walking in today?
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, and you can see it right on my arm right now, that I literally have goosebumps. Like, I am so stoked. We're just about 20 minutes away from the championship game of the 2025 Larry Bishop Memorial Cup. And, you know, both these clubs are in to the Founders Cup coming up in a couple of weeks in Calgary. But there's still this big game feel to it.
Absolutely, Keenan. I'm excited. It's both teams who've been able to establish dominance at different points of this weekend. Of course, that big asterisk coming in is that dominant 12-1 win over the Shams for the Mavs. I mean, there's lots of fans on both sides. Both these teams travel well. I think it's going to be exciting. It's not quite the Rebels beating on garbage cans, but I think it's going to be a good one.
Hey, look, I'll be happy if there's at least some sort of garbage cans in this building. It's like a staple of this building now.
Absolutely it is. So, Keenan, let's get into the meat of this contest, starting with our starting goaltenders today. For the Shamrocks, it's going to be Myzik. 847 save percentage and a 610 goals against average. Absolutely electric numbers from him so far.
Impressive numbers indeed. And, you know, throughout this tournament, he showed, and I mean, there's a reason that the Shamrocks are 3-1 up to this point, is he showed his dominance in the crease. Sure, he has had his shaky moments given, you know, that 12-1 loss that they suffered to the hands of the Mavericks earlier in the round robin. But Myzik, very strong to go between the pipes here to start for the Shamrocks.
And it's really been a dynamic duo on the Shamrocks. Bjarnason had some great starts himself, but Myzik, the bona fide starter for them, all the confidence from their team headed into this one, knowing that he's backstopping them between the pipes. But if we're switching to the other side of the floor now, it's Swan for the Mavericks, an 867 save percentage and a 528 goals against average. Keenan, I mean, he's just notching Myzik out a little slightly better numbers, but oh boy, are these goaltenders close.
Two elite goaltenders, and Swan, arguably, honestly, you know what? Not even arguably, I'm just going to say it. He is my pick for goaltender of the tournament, quite frankly. He has made some unreal stops, and you know, there's a lot of people that talk about Bowen Carpenter being one of those great goaltenders for the Rebels that's here in the tournament, but I feel like Swan often gets overlooked, maybe because he plays for the Mavericks. I'm not 100% sure why it is, but Swan is one of those top-tier goaltenders that you just can never discount in the heat of a game.
And it's funny you bring up the Rebels there, Keenan, because really coming in, I think the general opinion is that the Rebels would be sitting here on Monday, probably joined by the Queen City Kings, was my thought at least going in. And now these two teams have reminded everybody, not that they had to, that they're two of the best teams in the RMLL. I mean, out of the last 4 Founders Championships, these guys have been in all of them. I mean, it's the Mavericks, the Shams, like these are well-known names. These teams deserve to be here, and again, having to prove the fact that they belong in this Monday game.
Yeah, you know, and I think when you think about like who would have been sitting in these final 2 spots, like you said, Fort Saskatchewan and Regina, I think once you get into, you know, the grueling, tough kind of schedule that a Larry Bishop Memorial Cup has for you, where you're playing 2 games, potentially some earlier games. Like, for example, we saw the Crude playing 2 9 a.m. games type of thing, right? Is you're playing so many games in the span of a 48-hour period that, sure, you've got the regular season as a season. The playoffs is technically its own season. The Larry Bishop Memorial Cup is for all intents and purposes, the third season that these two teams are playing in the same calendar year.
Absolutely. Injuries come into play. It's a grueling schedule, and just pure exhaustion changes how a lacrosse game is played, especially when you look at the Mavs, such a speed-heavy team. I mean, having that break yesterday, I think definitely going to come into play today. But just before we get off the note of the goaltenders, Keenan, I just wanted to look at those goals against averages. Again, a 6.10 for Mysak and a 5.28 for Swan. And I mean, Keenan, we've both watched a lot of lacrosse games this year. Everybody tuning in live on CROW LAX TV has done so as well. That low of numbers for a goals against average it's insane. I mean, we're looking at an average of 10 goals a game at least per team for a lacrosse club. I mean, at least a successful one. And to be at your provincial championship and holding that kind of goals against average, it's more than impressive.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting when you see these two clubs facing off against each other in a final like this. Is you look at their regular season, and both of these clubs tended to play a lot of lower scoring, tight checking, not very much of a goal spread sort of games. So, you know, coming into today's game, and I know we'll touch on it a little bit later, is I'm expecting a tight checking, low scoring affair for the final.
Absolutely, but there's more to a lacrosse team than what's between the pipes, Keenan. So let's look at the two top players for each squad coming in. Starting with the Mavericks, we have Dolinski. Jace Dolinski, 9 goals, 12 assists, and 21 points throughout his playoffs this season. Of course, that including down in the South and as well up in the Larry Bishop. Keenan, what have you thought of his play so far?
You know, Jace, oh, wow, I can't even talk today. I'm so excited for this. Jace Dolinski, he's got kind of that, and I think Mo Joma actually pointed it out a couple times over the course of the Larry Bishop. He's kind of one of those Swiss Army knives of the Mavericks. He can kind of be all over the floor. He can kind of stab you where it hurts if you make a bit of a mistake, and I think that's really contributed to such an offensive output that he's had throughout the playoffs. And
he really is just a major part of that identity that I think the Mavericks have at least imposed on me this weekend, of just being that strong transition team that's going to kill you with their footwork if you let them do it. I mean, the Shams did a great job, give them that, of stopping the Rebels, who, again, try to play a very similar style of lacrosse. So I think that original score in the round robin was shocking to me. But, yeah, again, for Dolinski, I think he just eat, breathes, and sleeps that Mavericks lacrosse style of play.
Absolutely, he does.
Moving on to the Shamrocks, it's Riley Dowswell for them. Dowswell, 7 goals, 16 assists, and 23 points in his playoffs so far. Also absolutely crushing it. And Keenan, I feel like I've heard it from at least 3 or 4 people this weekend. They walk up to me, they see Dowswell on my prep sheet, and they say, oh man, can that kid rip it? And absolutely he can. He's going to get you if you give him some time and space. Keenan, Dowswell, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, you know, Dowswell, he came over to the Shamrocks near the trade deadline in a deal which I'm just trying to pull up right now is exactly what the Rampage got in return. So, you know, he played all of his junior career in Red Deer for the Red Deer Rampage. And, you know, the Rampage were on the outside looking in. The Rampage probably knew, hey, we can probably capitalize on this, send him to a team that's in contention and heading to a Founders Cup already. And Dowswell goes to an already stacked Shamrocks roster, and he just puts that extra little cherry on top of what's already such a strong Shamrocks team.
Absolutely. I'm expecting a strong performance out of him and Dolinski today. Both are going to be big drivers for their squads if they want to come out in this game victorious. Keenan, it's not only a matter of 1 or 2 players. So let's look at a top 3 for each side, and we'll start with the Mavs. Carter Michaluk, most points through the playoffs for the Mavs. That's 14 goals, 10 assists, and 24 points. And Michaluk, again, one of those, I think complimentary is the wrong word here. I mean, everybody wants to look at Dolinski, but he's definitely a big driver on that offense.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think complimentary is the word. I want to say he's more of kind of that powerhouse on offense, but in a sense that he's kind of a tame sort of powerhouse. It's like you don't really expect him to be on the spots on the floor that he is, but when he gets the ball, boy, can he rip that ball. I have seen so many of his shots this weekend have so much heat on them that I'm practically feeling the net shake just from up here in the broadcast booth.
Absolutely. And then, I mean, you look down the line of that top three, obviously Jay Stolinski sitting in there at number 2. Again, 9 goals, 12 assists, and 21 points through the playoffs. But just right below him, Ryder Boehming, 3 goals, 13 assists, and 16 points. And that's what I would now call the depth scoring for the Mavericks. Having that 1-2-3 punch, the third being Boehming, able to execute well on the floor. And again, make a difference. Because if your 2 top guys aren't going in Michaluk and Dolinski, if you're sitting as the head coach of the Mavericks, you still feel confident knowing that you have Boehming there ready to rip it.
Absolutely, and Boehming is a bit of a bigger presence on the floor. He's a bit taller than some of the other guys on the floor, and he's not afraid to kind of get down into those dirty areas, force you to make a play, or force himself upon you into making the plays that he wants to make. And that's exactly what he just thrives on for the Mavericks and why he's one of those depth scorers.
Overall, the Mavs have been hitting on all cylinders all weekend long. Obviously coming in 4-0 into this game, having played 1 less now than the Shams because they had to compete yesterday against the Rebs to book their ticket to this spot. So we'll see how that winds out for the Mavs. Their fans definitely feeling confident. I'm seeing lots of gold pom-poms sitting in the crowd right now, and it's going to be an exciting one, Keenan. But let's not forget about the always dangerous Shamrocks. It's been all business for them all weekend long. It seems like when they show up, you don't see them chatting, you don't see them having fun. They're here to win lacrosse games, and that's how it's been.
Yeah, and this is a team that, you know, head coach Jason Crook has really kind of driven his idea of what a lacrosse team should be and kind of this winning culture around the Shamrocks. As we've seen them in the Larry Bishop. I believe I was talking with Mo Joma a couple of times over the course of the weekend. I believe they've been in 6 of the last 10 Larry Bishop Memorial Cups, which is the most appearances of, I believe, all the teams in the RMLL. So, you know, they're kind of here. They're a mainstay of this tournament, right? And, you know, Jason Crook, he's found a way to find that winning culture through all of, you know, the turnover that teams have with, you know, the 5-year kind of limit on your aging out kind of thing, right? So it's just, this Shamrocks team, it's just so strong. And I'm not surprised that they're here where they are.
And you mentioned that culture. Let's look at a few players that are a part of that culture. Keenan, obviously, Dowswell, we mentioned him before, sitting at the top of the playoff scoring for the Shams. But let's not forget a guy like Aaron Say. 13 goals, 7 assists for 20 points. What have you seen out of him this weekend? For me, he's a guy who can drive a power play. He can drive an offense. Even when Dowswell isn't out on the floor to be that quarterback, Say is, I don't even want to call him a number 2, like a 1A or a 1B situation.
Yeah, very similar to that, I'd say. He's a very versatile player, is no matter where he is on the floor. And I know I said it with Dolinski, is that he's kind of a Swiss Army knife for the Mavericks. And that's kind of where Say is at for the Shamrocks as well, is he's kind of all over the floor. He can find his way into space, create those open opportunities. And, you know, he's capitalized on a lot of them, looking at 13 goals in the playoffs here. And that's an impressive feat, honestly, when you're considering that these clubs have probably only played, I mean, the Shamrocks had that first round bye, right? So this is only, I believe, their 8th, maybe 9th game that they've played in the playoffs. So he's averaging over a goal per game.
Absolutely. He has been an absolute weapon out there for the Shamrocks. And rounding out that top 3, the 21-year-old Nick Lutweiler, 9 goals, 9 assists for 18 points. Keenan, oh boy, did he have a massive game yesterday for the Shams. 3 goals, 3 assists, and a massive reason why they're sitting here today.
Yeah, and you know, he's able to come up big in big-time kind of games, right? And I expect the exact same here in the final. Is Lutweiler, he's a guy that drives in. He finds his open lanes. Even if the lane is closed, he'll find a way to open up some sort of space, right? So Lutweiler is definitely one of those guys that I would have kind of a target on my back if I'm, you know, the Mavericks scouting the Shamrocks.
And Keenan, if you're sitting on a lacrosse club here that's coming into a championship game, again, you mentioned how many times the Shams have been not only in a Founders, but a Larry Bishop as well. Lutweiler, a guy who's been around for that. I mean, he's a veteran player on this squad. How important to you is it as a young guy to be able to look up to him, ask for advice, and just see how he's able to contribute still and stay so calm and steady in these games?
Yeah, you know, this is a guy who's obviously been in these situations before, and you want to look to him from a player perspective and a current player perspective even, of this is how we've played the games in the past. You can't let moments rattle you. Like, let's say the Mavericks get up on a 3-4, maybe 5-goal kind of run and they're leading over the Shamrocks. He's going to be one of those guys to sit with the guys and be like, look, I know we're down by 4 right now going into, let's say, for instance, into the second period kind of thing, right? is he's going to be like, look, there's still 40 minutes of lacrosse left. Anything can happen in a lacrosse game. I mean, we've seen it a few times here where teams will go on 4-goal runs and completely annihilate a lead just by basically the snap of a finger. So I think that's where that experience comes in, is just kind of calming the guys down and letting them know, like, hey, look, lacrosse is a long game, and we have to play the long game.
Absolutely, and it's kind of funny how we've gone about this pregame show, Keenan. We've highlighted the goaltenders and then straight into what high-powered offenses both these sides are. So what do you think, in your opinion, is going to be the stat that shines through in this one? Is it going to be that goaltender duel, or is it going to be the offenses seeing who can run up that score more?
And it's hard, right, because you have such stellar numbers on both sides, the goaltending and on the offense side. I think we're in for more of a low-scoring type of game. These are two clubs that I feel match up well. They play kind of different styles of lacrosse, and it's just going to be one of those head-to-head battles where you're not really going to be able to see one team get the edge over the other unless there's, you know, some sort of major breakdown or miscommunication, right? So yeah, I'm expecting kind of a low-scoring affair, and if one team, even if one team makes it into the double digits, I think that's, you know, that's more impressive on the offense side of things.
I wouldn't be a good broadcasting partner if I didn't argue the opposite side, Keenan. So I'm going to go with, we're going to have a high-scoring affair today. The offense are going to be hitting on all cylinders. Target practice will be at its finest. When I look at these top three guys on each squad, complemented by a whole roster of more offensive players, I just don't see a world in which we don't see a 13-10, a 12-11 kind of game, possibly even extra time. You know how bad both these teams want it, and I mean, they love to keep us around too and getting excited, so we may as well get there, and I'm going to lean on the side of a high-scoring affair. But Keenan, we got to look at the numbers here, okay, between these two sides, what the real nitty-gritty of it is. And in the round robin, obviously, it was the Mavs who just walked all over the Shams. I mean, getting us to a 12-1 win for them. But back in 2024, these two teams met at the Larry Bishop as well, and that a very tight contest, 8-7. Do you think in that kind of best of three, we've had one blowout, one tight one, which is going to work out in the rubber match? Tight, or is it going to be wide? Again,
I'm still going to stick with it. I still think we're going to have kind of that tight checking affair that we saw back in 2024 between these two clubs. I got to give it to the goaltenders on this one. I think they're going to shine through here. Yeah, and you know, the Mavericks leading the Shamrocks 2-0 in the series, I guess you can call it technically series against them in the Larry Bishop over the last 2 years, I think plays into the hands of the Mavericks, kind of being in the Shamrocks' head a little bit. But I know that I mentioned it on the Junior Beast podcast a few times this year in regards to the Regina Queen City Kings against the Manitoba Blizz. The Blizz had beat the Kings the Blizz beat them on the Kings' home turf in the playoffs sweep the last 2 years. This was the year that the Kings finally broke through with a sweep of the Blizz on their own home turf. I think this is going to be the game that we see the Shamrocks find a way to get past the Mavs.
You know what? I like it. It almost feels like an underdog story. But again, we're talking about the Calgary Shamrocks. It's how do you frame it that way? I mean, ever since I've even been a youngin' in lacrosse, the Shamrocks have been a gold standard of lacrosse, and that's just truly a fact. And I know that's how you kind of have to frame it, coming off that large loss earlier in this contest. But just seeing Shamrocks lacrosse, how they've been able to come back and play in those tight games. I mean, I look at a game like Queen City and the Shamrocks. I mean, we go to an effective double overtime. We get into sudden death as nothing was able to be solved after the first. I just feel like a tight game, if it does go the way you're saying, is going to favor the Shams at the end of the day. But I also think the Mavericks just have an ability to run away with it. So again, to argue the other side of it, I got to go with the Mavs spread today. And that's kind of skipping a point on us here. Keenan, I know you're sitting on the side of the Shamrocks. Is there anything else that you have to add? Your reason you think this squad's going to be lifting that Larry Bishop Cup at the end of this contest?
Yeah, you know, the Shamrocks, just again, with 6 Larry Bishop appearances in the last 10 years here, and with so much Founders Cup experience, you know, the Mavericks, I'll give them credit. Went to the Founders last year. They found a way to get past everybody else in Alberta last year at the Larry Bishop, and kudos to them and going to the Founders. That's great experience for them. And this year they're going to get even more of it. But I think the Shamrocks' experience under head coach Jason Crook is going to be what lifts the Shamrocks to the victory tonight.
And for the Mavericks, that's who I'm taking today. I think what happened in the past is going to come to fruition again. I think the Mavs going to move to 3-0 all-time against the Shams in the Larry Bishop. All I'm saying is from what I've heard around the rink and just how the fans are talking, the Shamrocks, all that, it seems like they're just so confident. Why did we even come to the Larry Bishop this weekend? We're already hosting the Founders, and we feel like we're a very confident team running into that. I don't think that's the attitude you need to have, and I think for the Mavs, this is going to come down to bragging rights. You want that going in. You want to plant that seed of doubt where when you play the Shamrocks again in that national tournament, that they're thinking about it. This team's beat us. This team can beat us. And now we see both teams coming out onto the floor right now. Keenan, things are starting to get exciting. Is there any final notes you have right now for the folks at home?
No, I think you're just in for a stellar game of lacrosse this afternoon, and a game that will be going down in history as probably one of the greater games that you have seen.
This is going to be one of the most exciting games of the season on CROW LAX TV, the final game of the season on CROW LAX TV. So we're going to go off with a boom here. There's lots going on today. In between periods, Keenan's going to be pulling players aside, chatting with them. I'm going to have some executives from both the Mavericks and hopefully the league chatting in some interviews prior to periods. And of course, we're going to break things down. It'll be Cody Jansen on the call with Mojoma. Cody, of course, experienced with the Saskatchewan Rush. And any CROW LAX TV follower knows who Cody is. You know you want Janner on the call. Again, this isn't the last time you hear from me and Keenan by any means, but we're about to head into our national anthems. When you get back, it's going to be Cody and Mo. It's going to be the Larry Bishop Cup final. I'll hear from you at the end of the first.
Jubilee Recreation Center for the 2025 Larry Bishop Memorial Cup final between the Mountain View Mavericks and the Calgary Shamrocks. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you're able and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
It all comes down to this. The Calgary Shamrocks looking for revenge against the Mountain View Mavericks. Good afternoon, it's Cody Jansen, Mojoma with you live from the Jubilee Recreation Center in Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta. The Larry Bishop Memorial Cup is on the line this afternoon. Thank you for tuning in today and all weekend on CROW LAX TV. Hey, we hope to have a little bit of fun with you as well. Jump in the chat, let us know where you're watching from. You got a prediction? Fire it in there as well. Starting goaltenders in this one, Chase Myzik goes for the Calgary Shamrocks. He's got an .847 save percentage, 6.7 goals against average. Across the floor from him will be Alex Swan, .867 goals against average, save percentage. Goals against average is just over 5. Boy, he's been one of the most consistent goaltenders across the Junior Beast circuit so far this season. Remy Panchot is at the dot for the Mavs. He'll go up against the veteran Liam O'Dwyer. Ref is ready, ball is down, and we are underway. O'Dwyer, 3-on-2, scores. The Calgary Shamrocks have struck first.
Liam O'Dwyer comes right down Main Street off the draw. I talked about him yesterday being a key in transition for the Shamrocks, generating a couple of opportunities against the Rebels. They scored right after a Rebel goal yesterday, and now they score right off the draw early on.
What a finish right there from one of the best leaders in Tier 1 lacrosse. I know everyone wants the Shamrocks team, and Ben McLean's a heck of a captain. Liam O'Dwyer's right up with the best. He can talk the talk. He also walks it real damn well. Mountain View looking for a response. Off the bench will be Jace Victoria. Up top, low shot goes wide of Myzik. Mitchell now trying to battle for the loose ball. McLean's in there as well. 30 seconds in, and boy, we got some life here in the JRC. Was wondering how it was going to be. Both these teams have their ticket to the Founders Cup punched, but you don't want to go into this 2-week stretch with a loss.
I think especially for the Mavericks, I don't think you want to go to back-to-back Founders not having won the RMLL title.
Aaron pass goes off the stick of McCallum, that is. Yesterday was his first lacrosse game in 3 months after a leg injury. Crazy, but he's back in the lineup. It'll end up being Mavericks ball, though, and their offense goes to work.
Yeah, Dolinsky, last year's leading scorer for the Mavericks in the Founders Cup, or second leading scorer, excuse me, behind Michaluk.
Dolinsky up top, bright blue lacrosse hat. Hear that he's the one who set the trend, and others who have a blue lacrosse head now have followed what Dolinsky's doing. That save punched out by Myzik. It's going to go all the way back to Alex Swan, and he's going to stop this one. Should be a reset there. Maybe a bit of a push behind the play. Mavericks defender slow to get up, but here goes Grayson Amundsen.
That's Sutherland, who's coming off a major leg injury. An offensive player is stuck in the D zone down.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see, as Hayden Sutherland is down behind the play and in pain here. Only a minute 40 into this one, and the Mavericks now will look to see what the damage might be. Also, you know, while we're speaking of that, we got a break. You got to give a shout out to Wilson Ingalls. Scary situation earlier this week. Man, oh man, are we happy he's okay. Willie, I know you're watching, and I know everyone's thinking of you here. So hope to get you better soon and need you back on the floor, man. The medicine game needs you. So thinking of Wilson Ingalls and also Hayden Sutherland now getting held back to the bench. He is coming off of a major leg injury also, and so he'll walk his way back there. We'll keep an eye. We'll keep you updated as well.
Yeah, Hayden Sutherland is a guy that the Mavericks, you know, they're a team that generates most of their offense in transition. Their power play's gotten a lot better throughout the year, I will say that, but he is a guy that they rely on for those outside looks, a guy with a heavy shot, and someone that they will really need if healthy, if they are on their way to the Founders Cup. So hopefully he's able to get healthy in time.
Couple of main scratches in this one. No Tyler Ojay for the Shamrocks, no Devin Gardner for the Mavericks. All right, we're back underway here. Jubilee Recreation Center. It's the Larry Bishop Memorial Cup Final live on CROW LAX TV. Cody Jansen, Mo Joma with you. Here's Ben McLean, the captain, knocked off the ball by Muratori. Muratori's going to try scoop this one off the concrete, grabs it. Now he's got an outlet, finds a man there, and they'll settle it down for the offense.
Yeah, again, right there in the middle of the floor, you saw a lot of that in the round robin, turnovers between the rag lines with the Shamrocks.
Up top, Dolinsky, not in a hurry. 9 goals, 21 points in the playoffs for him. Round the top comes Baumick. Corner, Sinclair got turned over, and Eric Johnston has it. He scored a beautiful goal yesterday against the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels in their semifinal win. McLean's up the floor, has a man on a break. Kalinic scores! Oh, it snuck behind Swan. Has doubled Calgary's lead.
Hard off the bench, Kalinic storms in and gets behind the Mavericks and is able to squeeze it as he ran around Swan. And Swan looked like he got his arm to that far post, but he didn't get enough of it, and it snuck behind him.
This feels exactly what Mountain View did to Calgary in game number 1 of their round robin, or their first matchup in the round robin stages. Mountain View won that one 12. Came out guns ablaze and scored in transition, scored on set pieces. They did a little bit of everything, but now the Shamrocks, the hosts of the 2025 Founders Cup, are saying, hey, that one is in the rear view mirror. We're looking ahead. Offensive set after an O'Dwyer face-off win. Blake Anderson, 4 goals in the playoffs. Anderson, backhand pass. Nygren has it out in front. Another opportunity. Swan not forced to make a save on Dowswell.
Yeah, a manual product. Riley Dowswell out of Red Deer, a really good, prolific scorer. He was leading scorer for Red Deer throughout the season, got dealt at the deadline, and he's transferred that over into being the Shamrocks' leading scorer in these playoffs.
Chase Stalinsky up top, but push is called, and it will be Calgary ball.
See it a lot of times. Teams with winning pedigree, they're going to respond off of a bad game, off of an embarrassing look, and that 12-1 game looks to have inspired the Shamrocks here early.
Aaron Saint, the lefty forward, smooth with it, 13 goals in the playoffs. Finds Lutweiler, rips this one on goal. Swan makes a save and scoops it with the mitt.
Yeah, important for Swan to respond with a few saves here. You know, that's 2 goals on 3 shots, maybe 4 now. I don't know if they added that last one in-house yet, but yeah, he's got to stabilize his team here because they're getting outplayed.
Delinsky will control the offense. Cutting through the middle, Sinclair. Pass goes through everyone. Back the other way, Kalen Snee. Snee now trying to drive the net, flips it for McLean, trying to go over the shoulder of Swan, but I believe he stepped in the crease.
Really nifty feed from Snee there, as he's been terrific in this tournament. The former Junior A Mountaineer, excellent.
Inside feed, they score. Brendan Harnack, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, a little bit of a strange one there as Harnack came down on his wrong side, and there was 2 or 3 Shamrocks around him, and he was able to just sort of slide in between them and then tuck it up high on Myzik.
6th goal of the playoffs for Brendan Harnack as he buries it. O'Dwyer off the draw, looking for 2. He's stopped by Swan.
Yeah, back-to-back draw for O'Dwyer early in this game. Impressive work by the Drawman.
Well, you can tell the mood has changed on the Mavericks bench here with that last one. 2 early goals might have put him in a state of shock, but Trey Christensen and company have his team buzzing yet again. 5 minutes in, period number 1. It's the Larry Bishop Memorial Cup final on CROW LAX TV. Inside crease time, Swan makes a save on Saint.
Yeah, nice save there on the crease dive, and the Mavericks looking to push the pace right now. They're looking to go maybe 1-on-2 here, although Boucher's going to pull it out.
Nixon Boucher, big affiliate. He's not afraid to go toe-to-toe with anyone in the Junior B circuit. Bright future ahead. Delinsky. Little pick got set. He still holds on to it. Backdoor feed. Mitchelluk trying to bank this one off the back of Myzik. Chance out in front. They score. Tie ball game. The Mavs have 2 in a row.
That feed comes from behind the net, and you don't often see passes come from that location of the floor. I think it changed up the vision of the Shamrocks defense, and I think it also caught Myzik off guard as they were able to generate right down the middle of the floor. That cut came from the top right into the middle, and it looked like it went 5-hole.
Braden Sinclair has his 4 playoffs. Shamrocks now have a tie ball game as their offense trying to make something happen. Seth Miller spins his way out of trouble. Oh, they're going to say the goal is 14, not 94.
That might be a mistake.
I'm not sure. I think that might be a mistake, but that's what they announced in-house at least. Swan makes a save. Now he's going to try outlet this one. Triple hop for Amundsen to catch up on. He's got it behind the net. And what a wise play right there. Just to take that extra look, know exactly where the Shamrocks are. He turns the right way, opens up some space, gives his offense a chance to set up here. Tied at 2. Stalinsky fires. Myzik makes the stop. Rebound grab by Victoria. Victoria, young lefty forward. Boy, can he rip the pill as well. I know that there's some people out there that would compare him to a Junior B Dane Dobie, the way that he can pick corners. Delinsky on the restraining line. Low to low, count it. 1 for 11, and it's 3-2 Mavs.
So all the goals in this game, for the most part, minus maybe the first Maverick goal, have been, you know, good looks, quality looks. That one goes in from above the rag line. Floater goes, looked like it went 5-hole on Myzik. Delinsky leading this Mavericks team all playoff long and really all season long, has their first lead for them in this game.
10th goal of the playoffs for Jay Stalinsky here off the faceoff. Muratori wants to drive by Gavin Ferrati. Wow, I know he can put the ball in the back of the net, but right there, being a two-way player, might have just kept one out of the back of his own net.
Yeah, I've been so impressed with him. He's got such great stick skills, and he pairs that with great feet, and he's an excellent transition player.
Ben McLean zips it down to the corner. Up top, here's a look for Kalinic. Kalinic now walks to the slot. He put it right in the pants of Swan.
Yeah, that was a great move around his defender, just couldn't finish.
Nixon Boucher now knocked off the ball by Rylan Patterson. A couple of youngsters doing battle on the floor.
Ferrati also from the University of Indy, a pair of Shamrocks going there, Lutweiler as well.
Lutweiler with the rock right now. We've played 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Mountain View finds himself up by a single. Pass got deflected. Now it's snapped over. Kalinic backdoor feed. Swan, big save in tight.
Yeah, Swan did not bite on any of that.
He's one of the more chill goalies in the league. You watch his warm-up routine, nothing seems to faze him. He doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low. It's exactly what you want out of a goaltender. Johnson was looking to shoot. Ball ends up rolling right back to him. Kalinic up top. 5 goals in the playoffs for Kalinic. Zips it across. Chase McCallum has it. Blake Anderson, more of a pick center, but he scored a couple goals in this tournament so far. Aaron Say has a penalty upcoming. Swan makes the save, and we'll have our first power play of the game.
Yeah, I don't know why that whistle went, because that went before the shot came out of the from the crease there on the for the Shamrocks. Nonetheless, doesn't matter, doesn't go in, and the Shamrocks gonna go to the power play, and a power play that traditionally is very, very strong and potent. Hasn't been as potent in this tournament. I can remember that Kings game where they had a number of chances and couldn't really bury it. I think they were like 0 for 6 in that game. We'll see if they're going to get it going here. It's going to be big for them if they're going to win this game.
Remember, no Tyler Auger up top. He would generally be running this power play. Instead, it'll be the captain, Ben McLean, up there. Looks like they're actually taking 2, so McLean's not actually going to be quarterbacking the power play, but he will be up top in case the ball does come back the other way.
That's why he saw it get blown down then, and the second penalty was called.
Little inside cut. Swan not forced to make a save as Lutweiler tried to reach around him. Kalinic in the shooter spot. Anderson across, little down low feet. Lutweiler up top. Kalinic let it fly. Save made. Wow, Lutweiler just caught that right off of his foot. Kalinic is there. Keep an eye on Say back door. That's who they try and hit with a quick stick, and Swan denies him. Oh, Aaron Say with a massive chop. Knocked the ball free. Kalinic stopped by Swan. Now, penalties coming against the Shamrocks. Just getting a little overzealous. I think Say might have got away with the first one. He let a healthy hack go. This one probably going to get called. Maybe it's going to be a hold. Cross check.
Yeah, it was a little high, I believe. And Kalinic getting a number of chances right across the net in this game. I think he's had 4 where he's been able to walk across the crease. He got the 1, and then he's been stopped about 3 times since. Swan, like I said, stabilizing his team here early on.
You know, we've talked about it all tournament long. We're absolutely thrilled that we've got to call these top 3 teams in this tournament, because this is the 3 best goaltenders in the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League. And just what Myzik, Swan, and Carpenter have done this tournament has made so many people sit on the seat of their pants just being like, wow, that level of goaltending here has been incredible. That long shot got blocked as Mitchluck tried to shoot it through a defender. Able to kill another 30 seconds for the Mavs if they can hold on to it.
Yeah, that's really key here with only 50 seconds remaining on their penalties.
And Mitchell's a star out here. He's got 14 goals in the playoffs. Now a bit of a hard pick. Shot goes around McLean. Ryder bombing, missed the net by a couple meters though.
Yeah, Mitchelluk all year in the play. He seems like when the games get bigger, he steps up. Last year in the Founders, their leading scorer. This year, their leading scorer in the playoffs, 7 games, 24 points.
Smart play there by Nolan Highcamp. It's that awareness to not say, oh, we don't have to force to pick it up here. Let's let it run down, make sure we get the right personnel out on the floor, and then let's go to work. Riley Dowswell runs it up, acquired via Red Deer mid-season. Has it in the corner. Dowswell out in front, dancing around, put it off Swan's boot.
Yeah, I thought he might go far side there as he looked like he had some space to reach around the goaltender. Swan had his stick down on the floor, no room there.
Victoria turns on Dolinsky, turns on the burners. Got it across half. Now he'll settle it down. Mavericks are on the power play for the next 30 seconds. Jace Dolinsky calls the play. Wouldn't be surprised to see him and Mitchell up top in the shooter spots on this power play. Dolinsky all the way across the floor. Kind of tried to pass that one. Instead of threading the seam, he turned it over. Mysak airmails it. Ball got knocked down, though, by Drake May. Boy, Drake May's been one of those big physical defenders that's impressed as well. Doesn't seem to get caught out of position too much, and he's also just an absolute menace to play against. Dolinsky now, let that shot go through. Kick to the corner by Mysak, back to even strength. No power play goals yet through 3 chances for both teams. Dolinsky, cross floor. This is Victoria, blue shoes to blue stick. Dolinsky, inside feed, and Mysak makes the save.
They were talking about Drake May, OT winner earlier this year against the Outlaws in Beaumont game that we called on CROW LAX TV, so he does have an ability to finish as well. You know, I was talking about Swan having an ability to stabilize his team, and he did so. On the other end, now it's up to Mysak. You know, 3 goals on 8 shots. You want a little bit more right now if you're the Shamrocks, and it's time for them to sort of grab back some of the momentum, because the Mavericks are a team that can grab the bull by the horns and really ride that momentum, and they sort of carry and carry and carry until that storm is too big for the opponent to overcome. Saw it in the round robin countless times where they would go on 4 or 5 goal runs, most of it coming on 2-on-1s and breakaways, and they're a team that can generate breakaways and odd man looks out of nowhere. So when you have a chance to pull away, and if you're the Shamrocks, you got to do it.
Shots on goal, 11-8 in favor of the Shamrocks so far. They'll get set up and run it back from their own end. 8:38 left to go in period number 1. Dowswell turns on the burners. Good luck catching them. Benko stays pace, though. Wow, how about Jordan Benko and his goals? He had a couple beauties against Fort Saskatchewan in the round robin stage. He does not score ugly ones for a guy who mainly comes out the D gate. Lutweiler around the top, 8 to shoot. Swim move, little back pedal, looking to go 5-hole. He did have Swan on his heels, but he kicks it to the corner.
Yeah, that almost snuck through, and then you see another aggressive double right away in the corner on Lutweiler by the Mavericks.
Still has it in his stick. Now the ball starts bouncing around. It'll be Mavericks possession.
Better job here by the Shamrocks getting on and off the floor. You saw the Mavericks catching them that way a bunch in the round robin. You can see they've made a concerted effort to get off the floor quickly and on it for that matter.
Jace Victoria, 6 goals, 15 points in the playoffs. Victoria thought about a little backhand pass, decides not to hit Benko. Dolinsky. A little bit of a heat check there. He's firing it from Steph Curry range. Kicked up to O'Dwyer. Blake Anderson. 13 points in the playoffs for him. Down to McCallum. McCallum's going to drive inside. Navs tender says no. Another backdoor feed. Swan's got it again.
Yeah, you've seen Swan on those quick stick attempts. He's read it all the way. He's been over there before the ball's even been released. And if you're the Shamrocks, you got to think, okay, he's a little deeper in his net. Maybe we can start shooting from the outside a little bit and catching him off angle.
Mitchell to Dolinsky. Mavs have 3 on 9 shots. This bouncer by Mitchell goes off the glass. Got it back though, 5 to shoot. That got soaked. Highcamp battling. Mitchell actually ends up getting one on net, and it'll get scooped up by Muratori. They'll have to move the boots to get open, but now they get the reset.
That was a that was a very key reset for the Mavericks, because it looked like they had about a 2-3% chance to get one, and they pulled it out.
Hidden ball trick almost got me up in the booth, but the defenders knew exactly where it was. Long look by Bombing, actually hit his teammate. Friendly fire, rebound, they score! Oh, some quick hands in tight, and it's 4-2 Mountain View.
Yeah, Mizek looked like he needed to take another step out to grab that ball. It was like he didn't realize that a Maverick was in the area, a little bit slow to grab it, and the Mavericks take advantage of it, as they often do.
There was a cross-check call on the play. That'll be waved off as Mountain View the 2-0 deficit to a 4-2 lead here with 6:09 left to go.
So you saw that, you were mentioning that reset there turns into a goal, and those are the little plays that often make a difference in these big games. Emmanuel Product, Emmanuel College, Everett Muratori grabbing that loose ball when he was really the only offensive player left in the zone, and it allowed the Mavericks to get another one.
Jay Stilinski. Trying to slide back, doesn't on the shot clock. Upside look, ball almost ends up with a curve. Victoria now cuts through the middle, bounces this one past Mizek, and it ends up in the corner.
So key time now. You've given up the last 4 goals if you're the Shamrocks after an electric start. You want these next 5 minutes, you want to go into the intermission feeling good.
Shamrocks offense, big wind up there by Anderson. Save made by Swan.
Now you're going to see the Mavericks try to push here.
Transition opportunity ends up just in the feet of Harnack instead, and now we'll see if the Shamrocks want to run the other way.
You saw that heavy pressure start up on the defensive side for the Mavericks. I think about halfway through this period, the last 5 minutes, the pressure is really ramped up on the 5-on-5 sets for the Shamrocks.
McCallum inside, Dowswell fires and scores. Leads cut in half yet again. Riley Dowswell has his first of the contest.
That's a way better shot than what I've seen being taken from the Shamrocks. Right in the middle, right on top, takes a step back off his defender, goes far side low on a low-to-low shot. He changed the angle of his release, didn't come up from over top. He dropped down to the sidearm and buried it far side on Swan.
Big goal right there, stops the Mavericks' 4-goal run with under 5 to go. Ferrati, 5 full attempts, puts it right in the big traditional wooden stick. Other way, Shamrocks will run this one in, save made on Hildebrand.
Yeah, the Shamrocks a little lackadaisical there on the change, and it almost burned them. That was a very slow developing 2-on-1, and it came right to their doorstep. Good save by Mizek.
Dowswell. Kicked outside. Blake Anderson playing some big minutes. Hands are free. Anderson winds up, got soaked by the defender. Rocks on the ground. Nygren popped it up. We'll see who comes out of it. Riley Dowswell. Dowswell trying to go 5-hole again. Put it off the kneecap of Swan.
Now better job here by the Shamrocks, getting off, not allowing numbers to come back the other way. I talked about it, these last 5 minutes, huge for how this game's going to develop here. They respond for a goal. Can they tie it up before the break? We'll see.
Mavs have 4 on 12. Shamrocks with 3 on 17. Steele, toe drag, spin back. Boy, if you would have pulled that top shelf, we would have been hitting that on the replay reel. Delinsky trying to go 5-hole. Mizek says no.
Yeah, better defensive set there. That last opportunity that went wide was a pretty good look, but he had to spin all the way back to get that shot off, and that's a tough shot to execute.
Oh my goodness, Chase Mizek almost scored. Somehow, Swan did not read that correctly. It actually got through him and rolled inches away from the net.
Yeah, and that's the type of goal that could be devastating off for obvious reasons, and the Mavericks dodge a bullet there.
Saw Jace Lysenko score like that once in the Montana Lacrosse League. Cross floor, other goalie in the net, weird bounce. Lacrosse, anything can happen. 3 minutes to go. 1-goal game in the Larry Bishop Memorial Cup. Jordan Benko knocked off the rock. DePaiva trying to move it. He takes a cross check. Ball falls out of his stick. Highcamp has it. 4 to get it across center, and he will. Kalen Snee, 2-on-1. Snee's got McDonald up the floor. Snee takes the shot, and he bounces this one into the netting above the glass.
Excellent work there by Highcamp, though, to get that ball up the floor. Great pass. Led Snee away from traffic, up the floor, and just not able to capitalize on the look, but good look there for Snee.
Jace Victoria runs it down the right side. Boy, imagine how good he's going to be in a couple of years. No chance a junior A team isn't absolutely drooling to get him in their lineup. Mizek throws this one up the floor. He'll connect with Dryden Lee, and boy, they're playing with fire with passes around the center line there. That's half a second to spare before they got it over. Now Chase McCallum. Filia hurt his leg in Saskatchewan earlier in the year. Just jumped back in the lineup yesterday. Stretch pass up the floor. That finds Ethan Hildebrandt. Hildebrandt now. Ferrati's on the trailer. Riley Benko sets a pick, and then he'll peel back.
I feel like Ethan Hildebrandt had a jersey number change on the new jersey. I think he used to be number 3, now number 21.
Maybe a question for Trey Christensen after this one. Little bouncer. Mizek not forced to make the save. He's faced less shots, but I think shot quality plays a big part of this too, as Mountain View's missed the net on a few of them. Backdoor feed, quick stick won't go. That was Snee standing back there. Now we'll push in the back on Soren Nygren. Means the Shamrocks get a fresh 30 clock. Yeah,
easy call for the official. Marcus Fisher standing right there. Off ball to cross check, ball's loose. It's gonna be Shamrock ball every time.
Nygren rocking the red mitts. Swings it around the circle. Lutweiler, big body inside, count it. Nick Lutweiler ties it.
What a drive to the rack by the University of Indianapolis product, Nicholas Lutweiler. He uses, you've seen this a bunch of times in this tournament, he puts his shoulder into the defender, gets underneath him, and uses his reach to extend past the goalie far side. He's come up big in these big games for the Shamrocks, dropping down from junior A last year out in Nanaimo, and that helps obviously playing against bigger, faster, better defenders, and he's mastered using his body. 4-4.
Oh, Dwyer off a face-off win, stopped by Swan. Riley Dowswell has the loose ball. Boy, he's probably got 5 or 6 loose balls already this period alone here. Like, he's on pace for a 20-piece.
He's playing like a 21-year-old in a big game.
Dowswell throws it up top. Anderson slings it over. Kalinic, speed, they score. Aaron Sagan, a 5-4 lead.
And that's textbook offense. Nice flip back on the pick and roll. Aaron Say, I really believe he's probably in my top 3 or 4 Shamrocks from what I've seen this weekend. Crafty, can set the pick or set a nice pick, get into the middle of the floor. A lot of what smaller guys struggle to do, he does. And then when he gets those chances, he finishes them, and he does it there.
That's the big one. He's a finisher. He's got 14 goals in the playoffs. He's clutch. They need it, and boy, that's a massive one. As back in transition, they just let Ferrati walk down Main Street. Here's a rebound. McLean stopped by Swan. Mountain View caught sleeping over the past 30 seconds.
That was a great save by Swan, getting his glove over there on the post.
Patterson staying and playing here on offense. Patterson up top. Ferrati, step down bouncer got stopped. McLean, spin back, let it go, it's in the corner. Say has it again, 5 to shoot, put it 5-hole. Swan makes the save, 10 seconds left to go in the period. Mountain View is gonna go, I think he stepped out and back in.
Back in, yep.
7.5 seconds left. Shamrocks want a timeout to go 6-on-5.
Yeah, so it was at 7.5, the Shamrocks telling official Chris Hanley to put 7.5 back on the clock, not 6.6. That last shot there by the Shamrocks, I think it was Say with the opportunity. Swan did not pick that up out of his stick. It just sort of hit him in the stick, and he kind of reacted like, whoa, the ball's there. That far side was open. If he could have hit it, probably goes in. But nonetheless, the Swan making a couple of big saves prior to that to keep the Mavericks within striking distance.
So I think that's James Johnson and Zane Fletcher with the clipboard right now down there. I had kind of a big beam in the way, but I'm assuming. What do you think the Shamrocks are trying to draw up here?
So on a 6-on-5, generally you're going to send 2 guys into the middle, if not at least 1, and he's going to set picks and back and seals and try to open himself up, or somebody at the top to come around and shoot over that seal. And then if he's going to set the pick on the bottom on one of the 2 back guys of the defense, he's going to try and open up a guy on the crease to come around that and get an inside look.
All right, put it in layman's terms. Who are you giving the ball to take the final shot?
Probably Lutweiler.
5 seconds to go with. Nygren has it. Nygren now, defender all over him. Ball pops for a final shot. The Mavericks defense comes through clutch with a big stop on the 6-on-5 at the end of period number 1. Wow, a heavyweight tilt. The punches are being thrown. The Larry Bishop Memorial Cup is on the line. 20 down, 40 to go. It's the Calgary Shamrocks who lead 5-4. Let's throw it back to the studio. Aiden Bolsgaard is standing by.
Thanks, Cody, and it's good to be back after, wow, what an exciting first period. The Shamrocks up with a 2-0 lead. The Mavs come storming back, get a 2-goal lead of their own, and now we're sitting 5-4. Shams at the end of the first period. It was an exciting one where the Stars showed through that time. Again, you're looking at a name like Riley Dowswell, a goal and an assist in that period for him. Kulinich as well, a goal and an assist, and then a string of others around. Aaron Say as well. Unfortunately, we're not going to get our player interview this time around in this intermission. But don't worry, we still have lots of exciting lacrosse action coming up in this game. It's a 1-goal game. Shams over Mavericks 5-4 right now. We're going to come back into when about 3 minutes to go into the second period. We're going to have Mark Payne from the Mavericks on the broadcast. Me and him going to chat a little bit about the Mavericks squad and just how hard it is to compete here at the Larry Bishop, and now moving in to that Founders Cup as well. Again, my name's Aiden Bolsgaard, and you're tuned in live on CROW LAX TV. It's Championship Monday. Aiden Bullsgard, CROW LAX TV. It's Championship Monday here at the Larry Bishop between the Calgary Shamrocks and the Mavericks. I'm joined now by the Mavericks' Mark Payne. Mark, how are you doing today? I know it's a testy one.
I know. I went with the suit today. I think that's why they don't wear suits in lacrosse like they do in hockey. A little warm. It's been a warm weekend. Been great lacrosse all weekend, and I think these two teams are really showcasing this event, Aiden.
Absolutely. And Mark, you've been around this Mavericks team all season long. Let's talk about that a little bit. It's a long journey even to get to this point, and it's not stopping here. You guys already booked your ticket to the Founders. Maybe just talk a little bit about this team and the people around it.
Yeah, and I really want to key on that. I mean, I live in Calgary full time, and I really enjoy the work that I watch you do, and it's exciting for us to all come up here. But the Mavericks are a real family, and it's not just the coaches, it's the parents, it's people around the team bringing dinners, food on the road. That's why our team photo in the Central Division Championship was so big. You see all the kids out here right now running around. That's the most special part for me, is that we've really created a culture in Innisfail with the Mavericks Elite Lacrosse program, from Brad Bouchard and Trey Christensen, the head coach, and that's what you're seeing, and it's really boiling over, and this is the kind of game they play. Being down a goal after one period, that's just Mavs ball.
When I look at the Mavericks Lacrosse Club, I think speed, especially this weekend. They have been pushing the punch in every single game, and it seems like to start out this one, kind of getting a taste of their own medicine. From O'Dwyer of the Shamrocks, kind of starting out with that goal right off the draw, and then the Shams come into this first intermission, with the lead. What are the Shamrocks doing differently in this one, opposed to that round-robin game where the Mavs ran away with it?
I think that there's so much lacrosse in the 2 games per day. There was a lot of fatigue there. I would throw that game, the 12-1 game, right out the window right now. The Mavericks play a style, and it started at the Founders last year in Hamilton. We saw a lot of the teams from Ontario playing that high-octane style. I talked to Trey Christensen about it last night. I don't think a lot of teams have seen that. And, of course, the Shamrocks are very well coached, and they probably have picked it up on the video, and they know how to kind of respond. Obviously, scoring right off the draw is a great way to start a game, and then coming back and getting 3 straight goals here late in the first period as well shows that they're ready to play high-octane ball as well.
And Mark, we talked a little bit about that family idea surrounding the Mavericks as they head out onto the floor here once again. But just talking about that coaching staff for them, you mentioned that the Mavericks easily able to get back into games, and they're an experienced team. They've been to the highest level. Last season, they were there. For the Mavs, talk about that coaching staff, how they instill that kind of confidence into this young lineup.
It starts with Trey Christensen, but I have to say Eli Johansson, Jeremy Klessens, even all the coaches throughout the entire organization, and the family comes from that Christensen family. And I have to mention both the other brothers too. That's what they kind of do, and they're not going to panic here. It doesn't matter if the Shamrocks gets the next goal. This is just kind of how they play, and those guys have played lacrosse at a high level as well, which really kind of brings it all together, and that family environment has really caught fire here for the Mavericks in the Central Division.
We highlighted a player like Jace Dolinsky headed into this contest, went on in length about him in our pregame show. But as a guy who's got to watch him every step of this season, how has he not only improved this season, but just kind of him as a player, maybe in and around the rink?
Dolinsky and Mitchellchuk, like they really good together, obviously. You could say Hayden Sutherland, same kind of thing. There's a lot of high-octane players. What I noticed, though, is a goal by Liam Steele. You got Brendan Harnick. Guys are getting contributions from throughout the lineup, and that's kind of what's really elevated it. But Dolinsky's a special player. There's no doubt about it. And he's a great kid. You should see how good he is with the kids around the arena. It's really infectious, his attitude throughout.
So that's going to do it for me and Mark Payne in your first intermission. Let's throw it back to Cody Jansen, your play-by-play voice.
Have a great second.
Second period underway at the Larry Bishop Memorial Cup. Calgary Shamrocks got possession first, and they'll get rolling through the offense. Oh, what a check right there, as the Mavs are going to force a turnover and get possession here for themselves. What a back and forth first period. Tons of action at both ends of the floor. I think the goaltenders really stood out to me. And, well, the Shamrocks aren't too happy about it, but it will be a Mavs possession going back the other way. Shots on goal 23-13 in favor of the Shamrocks. That ball goes wide. It'll bounce up top. Mitchell has it. Kicked out to Dolinsky. Dolinsky load a high shot there. Myzik makes a save. Stretch pass. Ball is grabbed by Ryland Patterson. Patterson now righty, inside feed. Anderson's there. He hit Dow's well, and he hit him like a dodgeball. Wasn't ready for the pass.
Terrific work to come in over top of that little pick there to get into the middle, and the opportunity, maybe one too many passes there.
Transition opportunity the other way. Amundsen on a break, and he scores. Grayson Amundsen in transition. We're tied at 5.
Excellent move there by Amundsen, who throws a couple of fakes far side and twists it back to the short side. Talk about it throughout the tournament. The best guys, the best shooters are able to change the trajectory of their sticks, the head of their sticks on the release point, and he gets Myzik on that release.
Well, we're back to even Steven a minute into period number 2. Gavin Ferrati carries it, trying to cut down low on Muratori. Pick got set. He'll snap it across. Lutweiler. Lutweiler trying to cut down. McLean's inside. I know McLean can play out both sides there, but he was worried about setting the pick, and the pass was a little over his head. Inside feed. Remy Panchot doesn't shoot it. He can also rip the pill, though. He's got 6 goals in the playoffs, but they'll use him out in a backgate situation once in a while, too. Mitchelluk bouncer. Friendly fire, 5 on the shot clock. Mitchelluk buried his defender also. And we haven't seen too much physical stuff, but now things might start to heat up as the game goes along.
I honestly thought that might be a penalty on Mitchelluk because he cross-checked the Shamrock as he was on the ground.
Ref's letting him play on. Transition opportunity, and Myzik not forced to make a save on Riley Pinko. Delinsky has it in the neutral zone. Jet to Paiva, a little slow to get up here. Big, strong defender. Looks like he'll regroup. 20 on the shot clock. Wheel up top. No shot on goal, though, from Amundsen. Now a long look, they score. Finicelli. Jace Delinsky finds the back of the net for his second of the game.
Yeah, that's the second one in this game that I know Myzik is going to want to have back. Up the first one, I think it was Delinsky earlier as well, up above the reg line, rolled one in past Myzik. I think it was 5-hole this time. It hits the inside or the outside of his foot and goes in from distance. Didn't have much on it either. I don't know if he didn't see it. I don't think he did see it, and that was a big reason why that one went in.
Mavericks here, 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. They now have a 6-5 lead. Sneak taking a bit of a beating. Loose ball will bounce back, and it's grabbed by Drake May.
And that goal, not the last one, the one prior by Amundsen. We talked a lot about guys from Emmanuel College. Seems to be a lot in this tournament. He's another one of those guys.
Up top, little look inside. Myzik got a piece of it. It was behind him as Ryder Ballman almost found the back. Up the floor, Victoria. Big wind up there, trying to go low to the glove side. Bounces over to Nolan Highcamp, and Highcamp's going to put it in 5th gear. Highcamp transition, peels back up top. Anderson lets it fly. Swan not forced to make a stop.
I think Highcamp probably had more room to the net than he thought there. He probably could have gone in and got a pretty quality look there, better than the one that they ended up getting.
Jace Delinsky, 11 goals in the playoffs. Slings it over to Mitchelluk, whose shot ends up wide. That'll be over and back on the Mavs. Grabbed in transition. Other ways, McCallum, little sidestep. He's denied. Rebound, Nygren. Bouncer out of play.
It's a good sign for the Shamrocks, though. They are getting looks of their own in transition. That was something that was not present for them in the round robin meeting with the Mavericks. The Mavericks were turning them over, as I said, a lot between the reg lines.
Delinsky, little drive, spin down low on the goal line. Another shot just off the mark here. Both offenses haven't exactly been sharp to start here. Mavericks did punch in a couple early, but now we're seeing some shots start to miss wide. Again, fatigue catching up on some of these teams. Shamrocks, it's their 6th game in 4 days. Ferrati looking to the middle. Dowswell will drive. Flip for Lutweiler. He's pushed off the ball. Got kicked forward. Drake May trying to punch it out too. Benko transition. Runs to his backhand. Now he'll look for some supports.
Yeah, good job there by the Shamrocks cutting that off at the head before the Mavericks could get out in numbers.
Victoria doesn't on the shot clock. Lefty now run himself to the wrong side of the highway. Awkward angle, easy stomp by Myzik. Ball got scooped up. DePaiva had McLean up the floor. Didn't want to force the pass through a few defenders. Getting pushed back. Now he's got to move it or lose it. And I think that's what's going to happen here. Taken down and the other way in transition opportunity. They score. It's the Boucher buries and it's Mavs by 2.
Yeah, DePaiva there, the transaction coming over from Okotoks at the deadline. Too much pressure there as the double came and the turnover took place. And much of what you saw in that round robin game, those turnovers starting to come back and haunt the Shamrocks. There's been a few of them in this second period. Something that the Shamrocks did excellent work with eliminating in the first period have come back in the second.
Nixon Boucher with his first tier right there, and Mountain View has come out guns a-blazing. Not exactly sure what Trey Christensen said to him in the intermission, but clearly it has worked in their favor.
So that's a 3-goal run now here in just under 6 minutes. And it's an important time right now, just as I talked about the end of that first period being important. The Shamrocks responded. They got to respond now again.
Jay Stalinsky with it. Delinsky got around high camp. BTP feed inside. Crease dive. They score. All clean, and it's Mavs by 3.
Yeah, that was a great feed by Delinsky behind the back and going underneath where the Mavericks crease dive around Myzik. And that's an excellent finish. Something that I was talking about maybe Kalinic trying to do a little bit more of early when he had all those chances instead of going back into the midsection and the stick. Great, excellent finish by the Mavericks.
Well, there you see the creativity of Jay Stalinsky just to make that play. And no doubt. Somehow Ferrati just caught that pass in full stride. Alex Swan throws it up here. Ferrati didn't know it was easily in play to be picked off, and now it got scooped by Dryden Lee.
Gotta give both of these fan bases credit. They're out in the Fort Saskatchewan area supporting both of their teams in the RMLL final.
Say trying to hit Nygren inside. Defender got a piece of it.
And now more than ever, that response has to happen. I always talk about it. 3-4 goal deficit. Okay, you can manage that. Anything more, it becomes a little too challenging.
Sinclair for Victoria. Delinsky. Try to float that one far side high. Victoria has it. 5 on the shot clock. Little roller, scoop by Myzik. Dwyer. Johnson up the floor. Backdoor feed intended for Anderson. That got knocked down. Other way, transition opportunity. It's a breakaway. Myzik, he'll deny Harnack.
Yeah, if you're the Shamrocks, those are the opportunities you have to bury that little 3-on-2 there. It goes back the other way off the stop quickly. Nobody's back, and that was a dangerous sequence for them.
High camp. Right side for Dowswell. Inside, McLean stopped by Swan. Rebound won't go for Ferrati.
Excellent reads by the goaltender there. He knew where the ball was going before the ball got there on both of those attempts, and he looks like he's now locked into this game.
Muratori's a little floater pass that got picked off. Here's Ryland Patterson, turns on the Jets. Patterson inside, denied.
Talk about straight line speed there by Patterson. He just looked like a cartoon. Just ran right around 2 Mavericks to the net.
Well, you got to have a plan when you change in reverse transition. And jumping out there and being flat-footed, you're going to get burned like that. McCallum whips it wide. Up top, Say. It's in front of the goaltender, Swan. Goalhorn might have jumped the gun.
Yeah, and I'm looking into the penalty box. They're having a good chuckle there. That actually happened. I was watching the game last night in Coquitlam, Victoria Junior A, Coquitlam at Adnax, and they popped on the horn, and it was not a goal.
Mitchell up top. 2 lefties, 3 righties on the floor for this Mavs offense. Snap to Jordan Benko. He'll take a tumble. O'Dwyer has it. Now it's up the floor. Another 2-on-1 look. Johnston, McLean, 2-on-1. Johnston stopped by Swan.
That's 3 or 4 really good saves here by Swan, and the story of this second period, quite frankly, has just been Swan's made the stops, and Isaac really hasn't.
24 saves in the game for Alex Swan. And an .867 save percentage coming into this one. Delinsky. Pick got set by Victoria. Delinsky with it again. Doesn't shoot. Mitchell trying to go high 5-hole. Won't drop. Isaac steps out of the crease, looking for someone to pass it to. High caps there. He's got a second to move it. And I'm not sure if he realized that or if no one was talking to him.
Yeah, Mitchell, an interesting story. Last year, he's playing, in the last 2 years prior to this one, he's playing in Cranbrook. And then at the deadline, gets picked up by the Mavericks. And then this year spends his season Junior A with Saskatchewan and then drops down and starts playing with the Mavericks once again.
Victoria, 20 on the shot clock. Delinsky to the corner. Liam Steele has it. Ball up top for Balming. Balming trying to go low to the glove side. Delinsky wants it again. He'll shoot from anywhere. That save's made by Isaac with 9:52 left. We're at our goalie water break / media timeout mode.
Yeah, perhaps the right time for the media break to come for the Shamrocks. They came into the period up 5-4, now find themselves down 8-5, still leading on the shot count, 29-24. But, you know, I talked about how well they did in limiting the Mavericks' opportunities in transition and in reverse transition and avoiding their own turnovers in the first period. All that came back and haunted them in the second period. A lot of what you saw in the round robin has taken place here in the first 10 minutes of this second period. The good news is, though, is that, you know, instead of it being 9-2, it's 8-5, and plenty of room for them to make that comeback here, and with over just under half the game remaining. So we'll see what the Shamrocks here, or what they're Jason Crook is talking to his players right now. Actually, he's talking to the official, Marcus Fisher. I don't know really what he might be talking about. Perhaps, I don't know, loose ball interference. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But there's something he's not happy about on the bench. He's having a full-on discussion. And I think Marcus Fisher's telling him whatever he's wanting to see, he's going to look for, and they'll go from there.
Refs have really let him play on. There was a couple of penalties earlier, nothing too crazy, though. But at the end of the day, kind of the best way lacrosse is played is when it's 5-on-5.
Yeah, very few calls in this game.
Transition, Ferrati. Head of steam, decides to peel off behind the net. Inside, Nygren, stopped by Swan. Not sure what it counted, he stepped in the crease. Pancho, stick goes for a bit of a slide as Snee throws this one up. This will be a breakaway. Jaden Kalinic all alone, put it right in the belly of the Mavericks netminder. McLean has it, spins, far side, he'll peel some paint off the pipe.
That was incredible athleticism by McLean. He used his hand to keep himself up off the ground and then went over top of Swan, just couldn't bury.
Amundsen, defenders giving him the business, kicks it back for Delinsky. Delinsky's on hat-trick watch, one each period so far. Trying to go 5-full again on Isaac.
Delinsky, a guy who has really picked up a lot of the offensive load for the Mavericks this year. You know, they graduated Hildebrandt, lost some other scorers. Fancy was playing for them last year. He was a big lefty for them. And Delinsky just having an exceptional season.
Play slowed down by Blake Anderson. Nygren outside. Now a call is coming. Swan makes the save. Lutweiler has the rebound. Lutweiler trying to go to the middle. Mizek goes to the bench. It's 6-on-5 Shamrocks right now. Maybe that's something Jason Crook was telling the ref to watch for. Set up by Singh. Nygren pushing around bodies. Ferrati's out there as well. Lutweiler, 10 on the shot clock. Picks up by Anderson. Down to McCallum. Up top, Ferrati's not going to be able to grab that. The Shamrocks won't even get a shot off on the 6-on-5 set.
So the Shamrocks power play, which has struggled a little bit over the last few games, needs one right now. We're now underneath 8 minutes of the second period. And really, like it's not like the floor has been tilted here at all in the second period. It's been pretty back and forth. But the shots have fallen for the Mavericks, and Swan's been excellent in the other end, and that's been the difference in this frame. And we'll see if the Shamrocks can steal some of that momentum back with a power play marker.
Lutweiler's up top of the man advantage. They're 0 for 2 so far in the contest. Kalinic and Dowswell are in the shooter spots. Ripped by the post, that was, as Lutweiler went low to low. Not sure Swan was even ready for it, honestly. Kind of caught him off guard.
Yeah, he looked like he was on his back foot when that shot, after the shot hit the post.
Dowswell to the corner. Little fake, opens up space. Kalinic back to Lutweiler, hits Dowswell, room to fire, and it hits a double post and goes out. Oh, the Shamrocks think it went in. I don't believe so.
I thought it went in.
Lutweiler, Dowswell. Transition opportunity shorthanded here. Bounce pass, finds Amundsen. Couple of fakes, and he scores. A shorty for the Mavs. It's 9-5.
Yeah, Amundsen walked the crease beautifully there on Mizek, and I think Mizek lost where he was in the net because he didn't come across at all with Amundsen. He kind of stayed in the middle, and Amundsen had about half the net to just throw it into. So as I talked about, that power play being so vital for the Shamrocks, now they're -1 on it after ripping the post a couple of times, and it's a tough sequence. We'll see if they're able to at least come out even here in the next minute.
Yeah, looks like Amundsen did walk the crease cleanly. Impressive footwork right there. Back-to-back goals. Dowswell up top. Lutweiler loads and fires and scores. No doubt about that. Lutweiler, a power play marker, stops Mountain View's run.
So a couple bars go against them the other way, and then the Mavericks go the other way, score. They answer right back here with a very important goal. I don't know if that, I couldn't really tell where that ball went, Cody. It kind of looked like it went 5-hole. Low glove? All right. So better shot than I thought it was. I thought it went right through his stick as the replay we have here. So you're gonna see Lutweiler wind up. Yeah, and the wrong way, and it goes right by his glove and by a knee.
Turnover in transition. Amundsen for the hat trick. There it is. Oh, heat up 91. Amundsen has another.
Grayson Amundsen, another in transition. Terrific work, terrific patience to reach around Mizek. And there was times early in this tournament where he was getting a lot of opportunities and was just missing, hitting crossbars, coming up over top of the net. In this game, he's really been a high-level finisher. It's made a huge difference for the Mavericks. So even though the shots right now are 35-26, the Mavericks are going away here.
That's number 4 of the period for Grayson Amundsen. Back the other way. The Shamrocks respond, though. It's Kalen Sneed.
So from game 1, when these two teams met in the round robin, to this game, the biggest difference is the Shamrocks have embraced the transition game. They've said, look, they're going to get theirs, we've got to get ours. and they've really pushed out of the bench, off the face-off. You saw the game open up with O'Dwyer, you know, winning the face-off, running right in and scoring. They get another one there off the draw, and that was excellent work by Snee to storm in. And Kaylin Snee, you know, I gotta say, like, right now, it's a great time. Junior A Mountaineer up 3-1 in their RMLL Junior A final, and the alumni is doing well here for the Shamrocks as he gets on the board.
Well, the Shamrocks are staying in the race here. Inside, Nygren whips on it, rebound, Dowswell's denied. Heavy hit there by Kalinic, and that might be a penalty. Turned over to Kalinic, who put it in the empty net. It was before the whistle, funny enough.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not going to get a delay of game for it, but they are going to get a penalty.
And even technically, if it had been after the whistle, you're not really delaying anything, so how can you call a delay a game?
Okay, unsportsmanlike, whatever.
Yeah,
all right, ref, calm down.
I guess, yeah, I never was even thinking along those lines, but either way, it was before the whistle, and so they'll just go 5-on-4 here.
Mavericks power play 0 for 1 so far. They did score on a delayed penalty earlier in the game. Mitchluck up top. Victoria and Delinsky are in the shooter spots. Here's Mitchluck. Delinsky. Mitchluck rips it, stopped by Myzik. Up for Snee, penalty coming against Mountain View. And I believe they might have got a defender out a little early on that transition.
Yeah, maybe Delinsky out the gate a little early there.
Back the other way. Aaron Say. 5-on-5, Mizik's on the bench. Shot got deflected, ends up on the back of the net. Now Swan will scoop it.
So big turn of events here for the Shamrocks. It looked like they're gonna have to kill the full 2 minutes. Already down 3, now they're gonna play 4-on-4 with the ball. Extra space to operate. And again, like I think they're playing pretty well. It's a high scoring game. They've gotten their share on Swan, but he's made, you know, a handful more quality saves, and there's counterpart, and again, that's the difference right now.
10-7 is the score. Lutweiler. Down to the corner, Kalin dropped it. 4-on-4, there's plenty of space out there. Mavs could have a 2-on-1 here if they want to go quick. Harnack's on the back door, ends up setting the pick though. Amundsen for 5 in the period, stepped in the crease this time.
Yeah, Amundsen loves that top of the part of the net. Breakaway here.
Back the other way, Swan's got to pinch the pads as Rylan Patterson, the righty, try to pull it short side.
Patterson using his speed quite well in this game. He's had a couple of looks on net.
So 4-on-4 for another 45 seconds. Now you got to think, if Mountain View can get their O unit out here, they got plenty of space to get to the shooting spots they like. All the way up top, it's Victoria. Victoria, toe drag release, stopped by Myzik.
There's a big save for the Shamrocks as they look to turn it up floor here with a little bit of time left on the 4-on-4.
High cap ends up turning it over. Back the other way. It's the youngster taking the shot as Nixon Boucher goes wide. He's already got his first in Tier 1 earlier today. Mitchluck. Doesn't on the shot clock to Delinsky. Delinsky, little spin back. Delinsky, far side, it's off the crossbar. Shamrock and Johnson got tripped up. This ball's gonna bounce into Mountain View's bench.
Yeah, excellent little push shot there from Delinsky. No real wind-up, no tell on that shot. It almost looked like a Matthew Vetch type release there, and he just caught the top of the iron.
Mavs happy to eat the clock here as they are shorthanded for the next 7 seconds. No power play goals, or I guess Lutweiler's is the lone power play goal in this game here. Delinsky down low. 2 on the shot clock, got scooped up by Jack McKay.
As this game starts to settle down a little bit here, there's not as much back and forth big set for the Shamrocks.
Anderson, outside look. Swan got it with the arm.
It was an excellent shot.
It'll cut right down the middle for a save. Mavs defense just let him walk down Main Street. Reset comes. 2:40 left to go in the middle frame. Shamrocks down by 3. Say, trying to do it himself here. Knocked off the ball. It pops out, and Jace Delinsky playing a shifted defense, but there's a Maverick down behind the play.
Can't quite tell who that is. Did you see, I'm not quite sure if there was a collision there, or if it was a no contact injury. Would like to tell you who that is as well. But, you know, right now, two and a half to go in the second period. The game has slowed down a little bit, which probably favors the Shamrocks. But they've had a couple of chances here of late, right down Main Street, unable to capitalize. Swan standing tall, and he's been a real, even though the score is 10-7, it's a high-scoring game, he really has been a difference maker in this game. Still can't see the number on the player being helped off here for the Mavericks. I'll let you know as soon as we have that. Maybe, still can't tell. Looks like Paint Show. It's who I thought it might be. And it looks like Paint Show for the Mavericks being helped off. He's gonna get some attention here, and they'll have a draw back at center.
Big loss right there. Hayden Sutherland went down earlier in the game for the Mavericks as well. Now you're short another body. It's a long tournament. It's a lot of lacrosse in 4 days. Gavin Ferrati. You wonder for the Shamrocks if they're going to have to start pushing the pace here and really just going for it in transition. The set offense has been fine, but it's only been hot for a couple of stretches at a time. McLean whips this one wide.
Yeah, I know they've done very well, and I feel like they've generated actually quite a bit, 5-on-5 and in transition. But you know, like I said earlier, you know the Mavericks are going to get those opportunities, so you gotta try to get some of your own to offset some of that.
Generating's one thing, capitalizing is the other. 40 shots, 7 goals for Calgary. As a look over top, Amundsen feeling it in this one here, whips it wide, trying to spin back. Good defense by Highcap. DePaiva piles him to the ground. Grabbed by Kalen Sneak.
Yeah, Mavericks wanted an interference there as the Maverick was thrown to the floor. And I think they just decided that the ball was already gone and they didn't have time to react to it.
Nygren zips it over. Dowswell's shot ends up wide. Grabbed by Kalinic. Kalinic, a little drive, cut inside. His shot got deflected as well. Ball popped free. McCallum, little backhand, bobbled by Swan.
Yeah, so right now, if you're the Shamrocks, you definitely cannot give up another one in this frame. Yeah, you got to keep this within 3.
Chase Victoria ends up turning it over. Ball back the other way. Ryland Patterson starts with it. Really been impressed with him. Boy, he works his tail off every single shift. He is fast as you know what. And boy, he does not give up on any plays. That youngster has a ton of potential. Kicked off to Nick Lutweiler. Lutweiler, big shot, scores! Oh, Nick Lutweiler, shelf right under the bar. It's a 2-goal game.
That was an absolute beam to the top shelf, up over top of Swan, sort of by his shoulder, not able to react to it as that got on top of him really quickly. And Lutweiler, who's had a great semifinal and final back-to-back here, has gotten the Shamrocks back into this game.
3 in the game, 12 in the playoffs for Nick Lutweiler. It's now 10-8, and the Shamrocks are cutting the deficit down.
They're going to start this back. Well, no, I guess not.
Face-off violation called on Liam O'Dwyer, so it'll be Mavs possession. Not going to go for a 2-for-1 here. Delinsky gets it back from Sinclair. Delinsky trying to get to the middle. Good defense by O'Dwyer. Mitchelluk lets it fly. Mizek makes a save, and it's scooped up in the corner by Ferrati.
Yeah, the Rocks getting the better looks in this period despite the deficit.
They have Highcamp inside, and he drops the pass. Oh, a breakaway gift sneaks through the pocket. Now Delinsky's going to pop it up. Mavericks have a chance for one more. 5 seconds left. Amundsen's going to cut towards the crease. Delinsky lets it fall behind the cage. My, oh my, what a period. Mavericks, Shamrocks, just throwing heavyweight punches back and forth. And after 40 minutes of play, it's the Mountain View Mavericks leading the Calgary Shamrocks by a score of 10-8. As we throw it back up to studio, Aiden Bullsgart is standing by.
Thank you, Cody. We're back after another electric period here in our Larry Bishop final. It was the the Shamrocks who came into that second period with a lead, but it's the Mavericks who end up walking out with this one. They were absolutely electric in that middle period. Again, another big one for Grayson Amundsen, 4 goals now in this contest. And he's going to be joining Keenan Kanda down on the floor. We have them lined up right now. Keenan, let us know what's going on.
Awesome. Thank you, Aiden, so much. I'm down here with Grayson Amundsen of the Mountain View Mavericks. A 4-goal outburst there in the second period. Impressive. You guys currently leading 10-8 right now. What do you see you guys needing to do here in the third to hem in the Shamrocks and take home the Larry Bishop Memorial Cup?
I mean, it's been the same since we've started playing all season. It's just all will, no skill. And I think if the boys keep running here, working hard, and just bear down on those small things like loose balls and changes, we'll come out victorious and have a good night tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Grayson. Good luck in the third period.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aiden. Back up to you.
There we go. That was Grayson Amundsen in between periods for you. Again, a 4-goal performance in this game. Has an assist on his record as well for a total of 5 points. The Shamrocks bring it back within 2 thanks to the third goal from Nick Lutweiler in towards the end of that period. 10-8 is your score. We're only 9 minutes away from the third and possible frame. After that 20 minutes, will we need more, or will we see one of these teams lift that Larry Bishop Cup? I'm Aiden Bullsgard. You're on CROW LAX TV. Don't get too far. Aiden Bullsgard, CROW LAX TV, joined by RMLL Commissioner Ian Stewart. Ian, how are you doing today?
Excellent. It's been a long weekend, and I'm happy to see it come to an end here soon.
We've had quite an electric championship game here so far. It's been back and forth. Right now, the Mavs with the lead, 10-8, headed into the third. What have you thought of these two teams? And, I mean, they're both already in the Founders, but really bringing it here on Monday.
Yeah, you know, the Shamrocks, they're traditionally always a strong team. They got a great program. And the Mavericks have just come on in the last couple of years. They participated at Founders last year out in Hamilton. I think even though they finished consolation first last year, they took a lot of lessons learned last year, and you can see they built their team stronger this year. Their fitness level looks like it's up more, and they're going to be a strong team at the Founders with the Shamrocks.
Definitely two experienced squads going at it here today, trying to hoist that Larry Bishop Cup. But Ian, as we're looking at it here, the Larry Bishop coming to Fort Saskatchewan, what have you thought of the newly renovated JRC and just Fort Saskatchewan as a host city?
You know, I'm biased. I'm from Fort Saskatchewan here, so I thought what a great place to have it. Plus, I get to sleep in my own bed every night, so that's fantastic as well. But, you know, the Rebels, they're a first-class team. They do everything right. Dave McGarva and his crew have been excellent right in every detail, and you can see it. It's been a great tournament.
Absolutely, and just we go into this tournament, and of course we have the one team in the CROW that goes 0-4 here this weekend. But just what have you thought about the par in this tournament and how competitive it's been all weekend?
Well, you come to expect it, right? We get spoiled with this division, this league. You know, the four teams that come out of the divisional championships, you know they're going to be competitive. You know they're going to be strong. You know, last year we had a second-place team come in and win it all. So you just never know what's going to happen when this tournament comes around.
And in my opinion, the junior B Tier 1 division has really grown in skill over the last 5 years. It's only gotten faster and higher skilled. I mean, that gap between junior A and junior B Tier 1 lacrosse just continues to thin and thin. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think, you know, it started a couple years ago when we changed our rule system a little bit, playing the modified rules, so it aligns perfectly with what the junior A's are doing into senior B and senior A. And yeah, we got some great coaches in this league, and you know, that translates at the national level. We've had some strong performances over the last 5 years.
That was Commissioner Ian Stewart here on CROW LAX TV. We're just about to get into our third period, where you'll hear from Cody Jansen and Mo as we wire it down and see who's going to hoist that cup. Thank you very much, Ian. Let's throw it to Cody.
Period number 3 is underway at the Larry Bishop Memorial Cup. Thanks to everyone who's helping put this on at behalf of CROW LAX TV. Incredible as Ferrati whips a wild shot early here. This is going to bounce all the way back. I think it's awesome that lacrosse is broadcast free and high quality online. I think that's obviously amazing and great for growing the game. But wow, some of the problems and tech difficulties that have been going on this weekend, the fact that we're able to provide free lacrosse for you, I'm amazed. The entire team has been fantastic putting this on. And we got a fantastic 20 minutes to finish off the tournament. Ball got rolled up top. It's the Mavs leading by 2 here. Over 19 to go. Calgary in white going left-right on your TV screen. Mountain View in their gray jerseys. Gold and black trim going right to left. Dowswell out of the corner. Little spin back. Hard pick set in the back by Chase McCallum. Over and back's going to get called. And it'll be Drake May up there to get the offense rolling.
Yeah, you touched on it a little bit, but it's terrific to see the type of crowd that's out here. You know, a lot of people that I used to play with, guys, you know, the cornfields are here, a lot of different people in the lacrosse community, and it's awesome to see.
It's buzzing. It is absolutely electric in here. Here's Ben McLean up the floor. He does have some help. O'Dwyer's there. McLean's pass got knocked down by Mitchell. Got it back though. Ben McLean, captain of this Shamrocks squad. Little spin back. Trying to get to the middle. Can't get his hands free for a shot though. Ferrati's up top. Defender all over him. And May. High cap. 3 in the game. Looking for 4. Backdoor feed for Ferrati. Took his eye off the ball there. Pass came in a little hot from McLean.
Yeah, and a little bit of hesitancy here. I thought that McLean had O'Dwyer wide open there. Just unfortunately couldn't get the ball. Didn't see him quick enough. And then by the time he did, the ball got knocked down.
Mountain View sitting on 10 right now. I'm not sure it'll be enough to win this ball game, though. Got turned over. Here goes Rylan Patterson the other way. Patterson's with Sneed. Sneed, far side, the righty, slows it down. Great reverse transition by Mountain View. It's what they do best is move their feet, and they got 4 defenders out there in a blink of an eye. Dowswell zips it up top. Kalinic has it. Anderson in to set a pick. We got a broken stick on the floor. Ferrati. Defender without a stick. Ferrati trying to get free. Pass intended for Anderson. Almost bounced off the back of Swan.
There's been a few key moments in this game. One was the end of the first when the Shamrocks trailed, took the lead late in the first. Then they had that sequence where they went down 8-5, had a little bit of an answer towards that end of the period. This next goal is that third most important period of this game here. They need the next one.
Jace Stilinski slips it back. Shot by Bombing, goes off a defender and out of play. Shamrocks coaches are going to say there was no tip. Pretty sure from our angle it looked like it was touched. Up top, an errant pass by Delinsky. That's not something you normally see, but fatigue might be starting to set in.
Yeah, and the last couple of possessions here by the Shamrocks have been a little scrambled. It's time to get back to working the ball around the perimeter and try to access the middle of the floor on that strong side.
Say, little inside-outside move. Defender kept him away. Spin move. Kalinic buzzes one by the tower to Swan.
You saw it right there. The righties were all pushed way out. None of them were even close to the dotted. Dowswell was somewhat close, but the other two were way flared out. It's very hard on your lefties if you're going to stand like that.
Victoria to the middle. Victoria off the right pad of Mizek. All got grabbed by Dryden Lee in the D zone. Throws it to Sneed. Sneed's got to outlet this one quick. They'll get it over in time. Patterson up to fourth. Ferrati. Anderson's the first forward off the bench. Here goes Patterson trying to cut to the middle. He's hauled down. Ball ends up on the hard floor.
Good collapse there by the Mavericks, not letting Patterson with the crease dive there.
Foot race the other way. Not sure the 3-on-3 is the right opportunity, and so they will pull it back.
You see it a lot in lacrosse. Third periods can often be the lowest scoring period of the game as teams start to lock down and commit more to defensive play.
Sinclair for Michaluk. Stopped by Mizek, the Lethbridge product. For Johnston. EJ throws this one into the corner. Michaluk's down there waiting for it. That's one of the things you see Mountain View is a lot of their star players are happy to play defense. Michaluk, Delinsky, Amundsen. Their guys do not care what side of the floor they're on. They just want to be on the floor. Delinsky, half wall, 15 to shoot. Got it right back. Defended by McLean. Pick on set. Delinsky fires. Great kick there by Mizek. He's going to have to be near perfect to close this one out if the Shamrocks want to be hoisting a trophy in 15 minutes. Delinsky up top again. Little back pedal. He'll drive. Delinsky fires. No go.
That's a good save by Mizek on that far side. Delinsky hopped underneath his defender, and a quality save, one that Shamrocks had to have right there.
William Steele up top now for Delinsky. Couple of changes on the floor, and Mizek 4 straight saves on this shift, and DePaiva ends up throwing a Maverick into the boards.
Yeah, that was walking the line there, not smart there.
No harm, no foul. Tell the Shamrocks turn it over. Back the other way. They'll set this thing right back up.
Talked about the Mavericks having a lot of guys that'll go play both ends of the floor. It's old school lacrosse, and it's worked so well for them, and that's why they get that transition game working.
McKegg has it. It's one of those big defenders you don't talk about too much, but that's usually a good thing when you're a defender because it means you're not getting burnt.
Yeah, Swan thought he still had that, I think. It got popped out of his stick, and I don't know. The ref must have said it was out of the cylinder.
I don't know if Johnston hit that or if Swan was trying to, like, pop it up and lost it somehow. That was a weird one. Delinsky, 15 on the shot clock. His side leading by 2. Victoria. Got it right back from Benko. Hard pick in the back. Victoria's shot goes wide. Rebound, he almost got it up top. Ends up falling. Benko fires. Save made by Mizek. Pardon me, I think that was Sinclair who took the shot.
Nice awareness by Snee there, as they hadn't blown it in, but he moved just slightly away from the defender and flipped it right over to avoid the pressure.
Lutweiler stripped to the ball. Boy, Calgary cannot hold on to the rock right now. We've played 7 in this third period. They still trail by 2. Jace Delinsky. Inside feed. Mizek with the save on Mitchell. Shamrocks have still kept him out of the goal column in this game, and that's an impressive feat in itself. Mizek now throws one, goes off the Mavericks bench, and it's grabbed by Grayson Amundsen.
Yeah, Shamrocks throwing some hope passes right now. Just they basically just hoping that some guy's in the area and there's nobody around, and it's resulted in about 3 turnovers in a row.
Now Mountain View might have got caught out there with an extra body. There was some confusion in front of their bench, and I believe Calgary's going to the power play.
Yeah, and so earlier on, I mean, their power play did, I believe, even it up, but they did give up a shorthanded goal early on in the power play, then got the Lutweiler marker to come out even, but you never really want to come out after a power play even plus minus wise, so the time is now here to narrow it down.
Mountain View's got to send their in-home over the penalty box to serve this here. Shots on goal, 43-36 in favor of the Shamrocks. And now Liam Steele will jog over.
Yeah, and usually if you're wondering what the in-home is, the in-home is the player that serves all bench penalties. It's usually a guy that just does not kill.
Lutweiler up top. He will quarterback this power play, and Nygren's pass for safe over his head. Drake May now whips it across the floor. Ethan Hildebrand pulls it down like a wide receiver. They'll get around Johnston. Hildebrand peels back. Another spin move. Might have a lane towards the net. Twister. Stopped by Mizek.
Yeah, very, very tough shot to execute there. Wrong side twister by Hildebrand, but good attempt there, good hustle, and he kills some time for the Mavericks.
Yeah, but if it goes in, we get a highlight reel goal. Think about it. I like the opportunity, Ethan Hildebrand. Let's try that one again. Lutweiler's up top on the power play. Righty strong, look down as well. Little give and go. Lutweiler has 3 in the game. Won't shoot this one. Kalinic drops the pass. Lutweiler flips it. Dowswell. Back for Kalinic, and now he's dropped 2 in a row. Lutweiler has to leave the ball on the ground, and it bounced away from Jordan Benko.
Yeah, the Shamrocks don't like that one because they did blow it in, and the Maverick picked it up and then lost it under his own volition. Probably should have been Shamrock ball, but they restarted.
Delinsky up top for Mitchell. Victoria. Stick breaks, and another change will have to happen. Long shot by Mitchell. That's kicked by Mizek.
30 seconds. This is a very key possession here. The Shamrocks have to get some sort of rotation into the middle here. Too stagnant and standing around the dotted line, not opening up enough shooting lanes.
1 for 3 on the power play. Lutweiler has it. He'll let it fly. Swan with the save. Corrals the rebound as well.
Yeah, you want something much better than that.
Drake May runs himself right into trouble and somehow finds an outlet. Up top, it's Braden Sinclair's. We're back to even strength. Liam Steele heads to the change box, and 5 forwards jump out on the floor. Mizek gets there before Mitchell can.
Really like the second period offensively from the Shamrocks, even though they went down in the game. This third period's been very disjointed. Their passes up the floor have been errant, and then when they get up here, they're settling for poor shots.
Ferrari for Dowswell. Dowswell now pushed back by Benko. Kalinic now, far side save made, rebound, Nygren, it's caught in the jersey. Somehow that stays out. I believe it is caught in the jersey is Swan. And 9:51 left to go in the third. I believe we're at a media timeout / water break. Wow, saved by the blanket. Calgary still trails by 2 with just over halfway to go in the third.
Yeah, once that ball sort of got in behind Swan, I thought it was either in his pad, like in his leg pad, or he was about to kick it in. But instead, it was in his jersey somehow, stays out in the Shamrocks. Almost, that's probably their best look of the third period, really. But, you know, nevertheless, the Mavericks dodge a bullet there. We're about to see if the Shamrocks have anything left in the tank, you know, now underneath 10 minutes. It's all about fatigue and, you know, the wear and tear on your body. 5th game or 6th game for the Shamrocks in a matter of 4 days. So it's going to be a tough haul for them. And the Mavericks, you know, they're conditioned. That's all they do. They're perfectly set up for this type of tournament. The way Trey does dry land with these guys, the amount of practices they have. So, you know, it's to their favor right now. Can they take it home?
9:51 left to go in regulation. If it's tied after 60 minutes, we'll play a 10-minute non-sudden death period, and then there will be a sudden death overtime.
Yeah, Swan's waving his team over. Somebody has to come get the ball from him. The Mavericks, too, the other thing about them is that, you know, last year, and I touched on it before, last year they make it to the RMLL final, the Larry Bishop Memorial Cup, and then lose to the Blizzard, but are in Founders as the RMLL representative. I think this year it's a very big goal of theirs to win the RMLL before they go to the Founders.
They're already in as the representative. Victoria spins off McKay. Now Highcamp comes in to help. Victoria, little cut inside, trying to go through a triple team. Took a big hit from DePaiva.
That's probably interference on Victoria, but they don't call it.
Johnson. Up top for Anderson. Calgary down by 2. Say. Aaron Sale try and drive down on Amundsen. Defender blew a tire, backdoor feed through a maze of bodies is picked up.
I don't know what it is, Cody, about the Shamrocks this weekend, but they haven't been able to connect on those quick stick looks. There was about 5 of those against the Kings that they had, that the ball sailed out of the guy's stick trying to put it on net, and we've seen about 3 or 4 of them here again in this final.
Nixon Boucher at the other end, missed the opportunity and ends up bouncing it out of play. Now Dowswell runs himself against the boards, and they'll say he's withholding it.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Felt like it was a very quick whistle.
Yes.
Think you gotta let the men play lacrosse. Pass over, intended for Amir Torrey. Ends up with a Shamrocks netminder, bobbled it for a second, and now he'll throw it down the floor. 2-on-1. Snee has it. Snee backdoor. Nygren, there you go. Quick stick connect. Goal game.
Now that was the biggest goal of this game. I talked about it about 3 minutes into this period. The next goal was huge, and it takes all the way down to the 8:15 mark of the third for it to go. But Nygren, who's been excellent, just a dog on the floor, does a little bit of everything, and he does not shy away from the danger areas of the floor. That was a 2-on-1. Snee, who's been excellent in transition, gets it to him. And we got ourselves a game going down the stretch.
Carter Mitchelluk with it now. Face-off win for the Mavericks. Now a 10-9 ball game. Delinsky fires and responds. Chase Delinsky has the hat trick, and the Mavs are back up by 2.
Delinsky from distance, he's done it a couple times already, so why not again? That low-to-low shot just eludes Myzik. It doesn't look like it's all that dangerous of a shot, but it's finding its way in.
Yeah, but when you can rip the pill like 11 in gray, anywhere is a good shooting opportunity. And boy, that kid has performance this weekend.
So as they call for a wiping of the floor here right at center, we got 7:57 to go here. And talk about momentum zapping goals. The Shamrocks, it looked like they were going to get a big pick-me-up from that. Their bench exploded on that transition goal. But now, you know, the best player, or who has been the best player for the Mavericks over the last few weeks on this playoff run, answers right back. And they seem to just be able to stay ahead by 2 or 3 throughout here since taking the lead early in the second period.
Tournament MVP running, no doubt about it. 11-9 Mountain View Mavericks over the Calgary Shamrocks. The Shamrocks offense a lot better than in their round robin game, but clearly missing Tyler OJ, who's out with a leg injury. Spin move, Amundsen looking for 5. It's grabbed, and Isaac denies Muratori.
Muratori out of Emmanuel College as well, and I believe he's actually from Prince George, is a player that loves that little leap in front of the crease and trying to go around the goalie. He didn't work out that time.
Somehow lost both of his gloves on the same play. I don't know if I've ever seen that one. Delinsky bouncer, that'll peel some paint off the pipe. Caught the outside though. Isaac has it in the crease.
Yeah, they wanted back in there, but that was remained inside the crease when he grabbed that.
Ferrati, dangerous, flipped it down as well. Biggest test of the season for the Calgary Shamrocks. Larry Bishop Memorial Cup. Kalinic fires, stopped by Swan.
Yeah, Kalinic is just a little bit off on his shooting. He's had a number of chances here, and he's buried it right into the crest of Swan.
Scored that second goal of the game for the Shamrocks, and ever since then has been held quiet. Mitchelluk, wrong side of the road, pipes one in the logo.
Yeah, it looked a little dangerous there for a second. It kind of dribbled down, but Isaac able to shut it off and not allow it.
Jaden Kalinic, 5 goals in the playoffs for the lefty. Slings it down for Aaron Singh. Singh now got his hands free, and he rings the red. Ball got past Anderson. Amundsen, swim move. Amundsen, breakaway. Number 5 for 91. Oh, what a goal, Grayson Amundsen.
That looked like he was just out for a stroll at the local pool going down the lane, and he swims his defender and keeps his full motion ahead, goes right in and goes up high on Isaac. And that's going to be difficult to answer for the Shamrocks after, you know, going down 3 with only 6:11 to go.
Off win for Muratori. Muratori in transition, far side denied by Isaac.
Yeah, relentless. They're not going to hold on and rest on their laurels here. Another transition opportunity, and that time Isaac had an answer.
Victoria. Up top, Mitchell. Delinsky. Out to Victoria. Victoria now. Back up top, Delinsky. Got around a double team backdoor feed. Oh my goodness, I think Misek might have got a piece of that. That was ridiculous, backdoor save.
I think that peeled the crossbar right on the top of it.
Crazy look right there for the Mavs, who are buzzing. Delinsky now zips this one low and wide.
And you're going to see, I think, head coach Jason Crook will start pulling his goalie. Not this possession, but maybe the next one, or right around the 4-minute mark, I would expect it. You're down 3, and you're only going to have about 7 more possessions after this.
Leutwiler to Nygren. Waterbug out there. Dowswell. Trying to go back for Nygren. It's behind him. Ferrati can't find it off the boards either. Loose ball battle has been heavily tilted in the Mountain View Mavericks' favor. You can tell this group got a lot of experience last year at the Founders, and they have continued to get better. Talking with Trey Christensen before this game, asking what's different about this group, and he just said they're more mature. They understand what it takes to win on the biggest stage, and you kind of see that with this group where they don't get too high or too low. They're consistent through 60 minutes.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing some of that conditioning coming and helping them out here in the third period as the Shamrocks go over and back.
Johnson goes over and back, and now Everett Muratori has it. He'll slow up in the neutral zone here.
So there's been a vast change here. Like the Shamrocks, like I said, even though they went down, I thought they were the better team in the second, but here in the third, no question, the Mavericks have taken over the game.
Riley Benko with it. 16-6 are the shots on goal in this third period for Mountain View. Ball comes all the way back up, and Ryder Bombing's not even going to fire it. Breakaway the other way, Ben McLean. McLean, the captain, stopped by Swan.
Yeah, it feels like if the comeback was somewhat realistic, you got to get that one, and that's a huge save by Swan. And if I'm Jason Crook, head coach of the Shamrocks, I'm pulling Isaac right away here.
High cap up the floor. Has O'Dwyer with him. High cap to the middle, trying to go backdoor for Snee. It's behind him. Dowswell up top. Isaac staying in the net right now. They're playing it 5-on-5. Dowswell inside. Say fires and scores. Oh, anywhere. Aaron Say has the 10th for the Shammies.
Right in the middle of the floor, Say, not ever afraid to go there. He camps out, catches the ball, quick release, down low on Swan. And now the Shamrocks have a bit of life with 3:15 to go.
Each team still has their timeout with 3:15 left to go. Calgary has their fans on their feet. 3 minutes and 15 seconds left. Tying is not out of question. Ferrani back for McLean. McLean down the middle, takes the shot, and just outside the far pipe. McLean might have got a stick up high there on Harnick. Harnick wants to run. Lutweiler's on the back check. Johnson in there as well, and he escapes, and he rolls it over to Sinclair.
Yeah, that is one difference right there. If that's the Mavericks, 3-on-1, they're taking the ball and going with it. The Shamrocks got to get the ball out of Harnack's stick there.
Kai Kloss finds Mitchell. Jace Victoria. Todre, great defense by Jack McKay, keeps him to the outside. Will get a shot on goal, but it's an easy save for Chase Mizek.
And Mizek looking at the bench while his helmet is loose.
Mizek's got to fix his helmet here, so I think they're going to say fix it on the fly, and if Mountain View gets the ball, you assume they blow it down. Back the other way, pass for Kalinic, and he dropped another one. Mizek's got his helmet fixed. The other way goes Muratori. Muratori on a break, stopped by Mizek.
That was just a bad pass to Kalinic. You can't expect the guy to catch that. That was a terrible pass.
Kalen Snee, far side of the floor. Hard check in front of the Shamrocks bench there. Shamrocks want a penalty, Mavericks want a penalty. The refs say let's man this one out. Minute 45 left to go. Larry Bishop Memorial Cup on the line. High, low shot, that got soaked. Lutweiler lets it fly into the corner, and Calgary's gonna have to leave it where it lays. 92 seconds left to go.
I really would have thought that Mizek would have made his way out of the net, at least on that possession, but he still hasn't yet to leave the cage.
Delinsky thought about trying to cut back. I think he saw O'Dwyer there and knew that's probably not the D-man you want to go one-on-one with in that situation. Mitchelluk on the roll. Whips it wide. It's going to bounce to Ben McLean. Shamrock's got to get some forwards out there. McLean in transition. O'Dwyer's up the floor. McLean, toe drag, cutting inside. Save made by Swan as he flies into him.
Clock ticked off an extra couple of seconds there.
Mitchelluk. Johnston's on him. .45 seconds left to go in the frame. Calgary ball. They'll get a timeout in with 42 seconds left now, Mo. You need two, though, to tie.
Yeah, so the only real path right now is you run your 6-on-5, you get the goal, and then you win the draw and are able to come right back and score within the final, whatever it is, 25, 20 seconds of the game. But you're going to need the draw after this possession, because without it, the Mavericks, especially a team that is so good with protecting the ball and sort of ragging it, it's going to be very tough to get it from them. So the face-off, if you score, is everything. You've got to get it. And with O'Dwyer, that gives the Shamrocks, a fighting chance and a good advantage in the dot.
Mountain View defense looking for at least one more stop. Now you assume the Shamrocks go 6-on-5. It comes down to who takes that shot.
This is where loose balls come into play too. Mountain View, or the Mavericks, a very good team when the ball goes into the corners and along the boards. So the Shamrocks are going to have to be ready to fire out and grab those loose balls.
Leutwiler has 2 in the game. Say has 2. Leutwiler in the corner, zips it back over the head of Nygren. Grab by Anderson, flips it to Ferrati. Ferrati fires. Swan not forced to make a save. Here goes Drake May. May now looking at an empty net. Gonna eat some clock. He's gonna take punishment for doing that though. Knocked to the ground. Ryland Patterson has it. Dolinsky's on the back check. Shamrocks down by 2. Dozen seconds to go. Dolinsky lowers the boom. Loose ball thrown back. Dowswell can't connect. It runs through Innisfil. The Larry Bishop Memorial Cup goes to the Mountain View Mavericks.
They're gonna ask for the clock. 2025 RMLL champions of the Junior B Tier 1 division, the Mountain View Mavericks.
Have yourself a game. Grayson Amundsen, biggest stage, biggest performance. 5 goals for Amundsen. That's the difference. Mountain View wins 12-10. Alex Swan, another unbelievable performance. 40 saves, an 800 save percentage for the veteran netminder who can to up his game. For the Shamrocks, it's defeat today. They're right back at it on the 18th, hosting the Founders Cup, where they will likely see the Mountain View Mavericks once again. For myself, Cody Jansen, Mo Joma, everyone else who puts on the CROW LAX TV productions, hey, I can't say enough good things about this. What a tournament set up by Dave McGarva and the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels. This has been the best Larry Bishop I have ever seen, and what a thrilling final game. Let's send it back up to studios. Aiden Bolsgart is standing by.
Thank you, Cody. Oh my, what an ending. The Mavericks hang on throughout the third period. We go almost a full 10 minutes without a goal in that period. It was pure lockdown for Mountain View, and a special shout out to their goaltender, Alex Swan, stoning the Shamrocks. They made an attempt to get back in it, but a couple good answers from the Mavericks, and I'm sure Cody mentioned it, a 5-goal game for Grayson Amundsen. We spoke to him in between the second and third period. He added an assist as well for a total of 6 points. It was a great one. We're going to get to our trophy celebration here soon. Players just ripping out the handshakes right now. I'm hoping Cody Jansen will join me back on the broadcast to discuss just this game and how it went as well we get into our trophy celebration. I have Cody with me now. Cody, again, I mean, I'm watching from the outside, getting a good spot from the stands to see what's going on. Obviously, a guy like Amundsen stands out, and again, their star, Jace Dolinsky, 3 goals, 2 assists for him in this game as well. What did you think about the Mavericks Lacrosse Club in this contest?
I was so impressed with the team, with the organization, how they handled themselves from start to finish. They came in with a clear goal. They were, for lack of better terms, they were pissed off with the way last year's tournament went, right? If you don't finish the tournament with a win, you know, it's awesome you're going to Founders. End of the day, these guys want to win. It's why they put on their helmets. And just seeing what Trey Christensen has done with this unit, with this group, it's their style of play. It's the little changes they make. And yeah, you can mention so many of those good performances. I mean, Dolinsky had a hat trick and 2 assists. Amundsen had 5 goals and an assist. Swan with 40 saves. The individual efforts were absolutely there, and you need those to win big games. But their team, top to bottom, there was zero weakness. They could throw in different bodies. They have Hayden Sutherland go down. They have Remy Panchot go down. No Devin Gardner. Like, they're missing some big pieces. Not to discredit the guys who suited up in this game, but they're missing some pretty dang pieces. And wow, did they just run it and just in pace every opportunity. They're so good.
And I think Grayson Amundsen said it best, but I would almost argue the fact in his interview with Keenan Canada, he said this Mavericks team, all will, no skill. I don't think that's true.
That's crazy.
There's lots of skill on this Mavericks team, but the will is there.
Have you seen Jace Delinsky shoot the ball? Guy's got skill.
He can rip it. So I disagree with that statement, but the will definitely stands through and through for the Mavericks. This is a will team. They play fast, they play hard, and they stoned the Shamrocks today.
Okay, but you've seen a ton of lacrosse here, too, and we will throw it down for the Jackson Porter Player of the Game. I mean, the Shamrocks are right there. Are these two teams going to be in the favorites conversation for the Founders? Because I think they have to.
I'd agree with you there, Cody. I mean, there's always some strong teams coming around from the other parts of the country, but let's not get away from our Jackson Porter Player of the Game here.
Environmental Services. For the Calgary Shamrocks, number 13, Liam O'Dwyer.
Liam O'Dwyer getting the Jackson Porter Player of the Game for the Shamrocks. 1 goal, 1 assist in this contest. Opened up the scoring in this one off the rush 6 seconds into the game.
I think you could argue this was one of his better games. He was really good. He played huge minutes. And yeah, that's why he's the Jackson Porter Player of the Game, sponsored by Cyclone Environmental Services.
And your Jackson Porter Player of the Game for the Mountain View Mavericks, number 15, Brendan Harnack.
Harnack was good. Just a dog defensively. He sets hard picks. He really does a lot of the little things right. And you know, defensively, this Mavs team is so consistent, but it's guys like Harnack that push the ball also.
Absolutely. Added a goal in this game as well, did Harnack. And now it's time for the big stuff here, Cody. The shiny things that each team that came into this weekend had their eye on. We're going to have a medal presentation as well, a little keepsake for each of these players who won this Larry Bishop Memorial. And Cody, is there any final notes from you before we get into our celebration? Just the reason why the Mavericks are the team sitting here right now.
Yeah, I think the Mavericks were just the staple of consistency throughout this tournament. And I also think that having yesterday off played a huge factor, right? They were fresher. They looked like they were moving quicker on the floor. And that's what happens in this 4-day tournament. The team who has the best round robin does have the best advantage to do so. They got that. They finished it off. They did the job. And now for them, it's on to Calgary. What do you say? Like, mission accomplished part 2. Like, they won their division. Now they've won the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League. Now they're going for a Founders Cup. And this team damn well should be in the conversation for winning that tournament.
Kobe Bryant said it best, job finished, job finished. I don't think so. And that's what the Mavericks are saying. Aiden Bullsgard, Cody Jansen here on CROW LAX TV. We're going to have our individual presentation of awards here, so I'll let the PA take it over. We're going to throw it to Keenan Canada at some point as we get to talk to some of these champion Mavericks. So listen in to your in-house announcer, celebrate with these squads, and we'll be back hopefully with Keenan here shortly on CROW LAX TV.
Feels like a bad time to do it.
Little
Welcome back on CROW LAX TV. We're going to throw down to our on-field reporter here. It's Keenan Kanda down there with one of our winning Mavericks. Keenan, take it away.
Thank you so much, Aiden. I'm down here with Jay Stalinsky, 3 goals and 2 assists en route to the Larry Bishop Memorial Cup. Finally, you guys get over the hump last year, making it in by way of just happen chance, I guess. This year, you guys finally get to take that title into the Larry Bishop, or into the Founders Cup. How does it feel?
I mean, it feels great. Finally, you know, we've only had this coaching staff for a few years, and everyone's bought into the program, and this is what happens when we buy in. We're finally going, not with the technicality, but we're going because we earned it. So we're going to have a lot more swagger walking into the Founders.
Absolutely, and it's a great thing to finally be able to say you guys are the Junior B Tier 1 champions. And one final question for you, for everybody watching at home. I know we've seen it all tournament long, your guys' goal celebration of that. What is that all about?
So from what I've heard, it came from the minors, and Carter Mitchelluk kind of brought it here, and then Ryder Baumong, they started doing it, and it just kind of caught on, and now it's like we go nom, 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 and it's how we score. You know, we don't score unless we do it.
I love it. Awesome. Well, congratulations, Jace. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
The Mountain View Mavericks, your 2025 Larry Bishop Memorial Cup champions.
Thank you, Keenan from downstairs. Nom, 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 says Jay Stalinsky. Lots of that going on this weekend for the Mountain View Mavericks. Stalinsky, again, 5 points in this contest, 3 goals, 2 assists. The medal celebration still going down, fully handed out now to the Mavericks. It looks like we're going to get a banner out there. Again, let's tune back in downstairs for our trophy delivery. Alex Swan taking the MVP of the tournament for the Mavericks Lacrosse Club. I mean, we highlighted him before this game. I said again, an absolute brick wall all tournament long, and he deserves this more than anybody, that is for sure. This game could have been very different if he doesn't play the way he does, and that's true for this entire tournament. Swan going to be one of those major pieces for the Mavericks as they head into the Founders Cup. We're going to get to our silver medal handout.
Junior B Tier 1 Championship medals to the Mountain View Mavericks.
Or my apologies, we're actually going to hand out some more medals to the Mavericks. You don't get 1 medal, you get 2 medals. Tristan Shaw giggling along with me here. That's not one I saw coming. And then we're going to get to the real big trophy presentation that you're going to see the Mavericks celebrating together. Again, you're tuned in live on CROW LAX TV, our last broadcast of the year for the Larry Bishop Cup final. It was an absolute massive one today between the Mavs and the Shams. The Shams looking for redemption after getting slaughtered by the Mavs earlier in the round robin. Unable to come through today. A much closer final in this one, but again, the Mavericks coming out on top. Continue to watch here on CROW LAX TV as you see that second round of medals getting handed out to the Mountain View Mavericks as they go to lift the trophy. Again, we thank you for tuning in all season long on CROW LAX TV. For myself, Aiden Bolsgard, Mo, and Cody, Gabby on the camera, Tristan Shaw on the computer, and then most importantly, the boss man, Keenan Kanda, on the floor getting your reports. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait to get back in the saddle for your 2026 RMLL season. Until then, thank you, folks. It has been a pleasure.
Your attention, please. Could we have Shelly Bishop please come down to the penalty box? Shelly Bishop. And presenting the cup is Shelly Bishop. If we could ask for the captain of the Mavericks to please come up.